That's
Hello,
what I
everyone.
ate while he was away, was soup.
Welcome to Tales from the Forgotten Troop. We're back with more Jukebox Justice.
And soup.
And soup.
I wish I had soup.
Soup season.
We're all
I should make
peripherally
wonton
around
soup.
the corner.
We're all peripherally related to soup.
Mm-hmm.
Peripherally involved with
Yep.
soup.
Peripherally involving
If you're
soup.
enjoying what we're doing, and if you enjoy soup, there are numerous ways to support the show. Support the show.
Oh, God.
Leave meeting. Goodbye. Oh my
That was
god.
particularly bad.
And if
I'm
Campbell wants to sponsor
debating
us,
clicking that. Leave
No,
button.
I won't accept a Campbell's sponsorship because they put wheat in their soups, and it pisses me off.
okay, what soup brand would you like to sponsor us? Progresso?
Like there is any. That's owned
Progresso.
by Campbell's, isn't it?
No, Chunky is owned by Progresso, or not Progresso.
Oh, I thought they
Campbell's.
were the same thing.
No.
I just make soup. I don't.
Anyway,
It's all one company. It's a soupspiracy.
probably.
That's even worse.
There's
It's a
a
soup
link to our
MLM
page floating around that you can follow and finally stuff like all of our affiliate links. Buy stuff, give us money, give us direct donations,
Give us soup.
all that jazz. Become a
Soup
coffee
fund.
member, just straight up cash.
Soup fund.
Soup fund. Merch. We have lots of merch. Some
I
show
can-
specific, some show adjacent. It's all great. You should buy it because it's cool.
Comfy and easy to wear.
Get a sticker.
Yes,
Put it on
sir.
your computer. That's what I
Yeah.
did with my stickers finally.
That's where all of my stickers are.
We should. Not to derail this conversation.
Put Watchdog
but,
on your computer. That's what I
we should have a sticker that says
wear it on your feet.
hydrate, don't dihydrate. Because I'm proud of that one.
I'll work on it.
I drink nothing but water.
Yeah, you can also follow us on social media and join the Discord for notifications about the show. I think when is this episode supposed to go up? Yes, we have a casting call application open. This is the last day today. So if you want a chance to play in a Tales from the Loop campaign, go fill out the Google form and you might
And
get
I
be
will
here
choose which
doing
one
this
of you I
nonsense.
like the best.
Yeah.
We'll probably sort by scheduling.
No, we went with trial by combat.
All three simultaneously.
Coffee members and Twitch
Werewolf
subscribers
Fight
do
Club?
get priority application.
That's true.
stuff.
Good reason to join the coffee.
You give
If
us
you
money.
give us money,
If you give us
become
money-
our
You can
favorite.
Buy yourself.
Bribe your way to
Christ.
victory.
Yep.
Buy your way onto the show. Capitalism.
Mhm.
If you're watching the VOD on YouTube, make sure to like and subscribe so you get notified when new videos are uploaded. But also, if it's not like the middle of the night for you where you don't have anything else going on, join us for our weekly streams and you can come chat and hang out with us and
Mhm.
enjoy the chaos.
Enjoy soup.
Enjoy soup.
We
Yes.
encourage you to actively guess how we're going to ruin Joe Hatathly's life next.
Yes.
I feel like one of you's got a bingo board going.
Oh, we should start a bingo board.
Yes.
That's a great idea.
But you can't let me see it. You can't let me see it.
No, it'll be like a secret from Charlie, but like we'll have a
Build
bingo
your
board.
own bingo.
Need like
sheet.
a pool of 90 things, and then we each get a card per episode.
Pre-custom bingo card generator.
There we go. For now, let's go around and have everyone introduce themselves and who they are playing.
Oh, there's theme.
And
Oh,
the
there's not a
question,
Western theme. We don't want this one.
the question that I would like you to answer today is: what is your character's or you always have the option of answering this as yourself if you want to. What is your character's most treasured material possession?
I didn't realize that was an option at any point.
Most treasured.
Oh, I
Roxy
know. I can
already
go
knows.
first.
Oh, you can go
Um,
first. I'll go next.
I'm Maria. I play Elena, aka Easy Living, and her most treasured possession is her meteorite necklace.
I'm Jenna.
knows?
I play Roxy DeMarco, aka Calamity, and her most treasured possession is Betty Crocker, her motorcycle. It's pretty obvious.
What I was
answer
expecting.
for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I suddenly feel like Charlie's writing down a hit list.
Of the things that Charlie's gonna
Yes.
take
I already
from us.
have a hit list.
Yeah,
I
no.
don't need another one.
It's all of Joe
Yeah, it's-
Hatapley's loved ones.
All right,
See, if you only date within the group of the team, then
Maybe next campaign, we'll see.
yeah.
But for the time being, hello everyone. I am Mr. Crow, even with the hair down. I'm still alternatively known as Crow, and I will be playing Joe Hatapley, aka Watchdog. And
Alternative
I think
Crow.
Alternative Crow. I like the curls. They
Just
look
like-
nice.
I was about to say my hair just does this. By the
You
way, I
have
didn't do
lovely
anything to my hair.
curls. I love it. Jealous.
Everyone's jealous of the 18th century French do, I guess.
Yes.
Hey. It's a vibe.
It is a vibe.
If I had to pick for myself, probably my father's stuffed dog toy, which has literally been passed down like 4 generations now. Thing's
Aw.
ancient, and it's just sort of a family relic, and quite literally irreplaceable. You can't find the things anymore. Not that they're a collector's item. But in any case, for Joe, treasured physical object. I think I am going to say his Letterman jacket from high school.
My God, of course.
I
What
was
a
shocked he
sports
didn't
guy.
say his convertible, honestly.
He's a car guy, but he's not that big of a car
He
guy.
feels responsible for the
really.
car. He likes the jacket.
Hmm.
Mm.
Well, that's
Okay.
going to be an easy thing for Charlie to take from you.
Oh,
Please, I've got
Oh,
my
no.
sights set on something else.
That's true.
Yeah,
There's
that's
something
true.
a little bigger.
A little something a little more treasured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a touch. Hi, I'm Tess. I play Sylvie, aka Valkyrie, and I think her most treasured possession would be probably, I would say, possessions, and I think she's probably kept the first thing each of the team members gave her as a gift. And if
Adorable.
Joe hasn't given her something,
I was about to
it
say,
will
I
get
feel-
added at some point.
I don't think Joe, like, as when you say given thing, I assume you don't mean like handing you a cup of coffee or something.
No,
Like,
it
some
would
sort
be
of
something
gift.
like
intentional gift.
Yeah,
And this is
she-
the
she didn't keep the
styrofoam cup.
The first
the
breadstick
coffee came
that
in.
Mama DeMarco gave her.
So yeah, in that case, I don't think Sylvie has anything from
no.
Joe.
I don't think
yet.
Joe would give anything yet.
Yeah,
Joe doesn't like Sylvie very much.
Weird.
he got
Roxy
close.
gave Sylvie
He
her
got close
heart.
For a
half
little
session.
while.
But also
We'll get
Elena,
there.
but also Cynthia.
We'll get there eventually.
Eventually.
But that is a pretty good lead-in. I'm Brianna. I play Cynthia Evans, otherwise known as Echo. And she doesn't have a lot of material possessions that have like sentimental value to her. She tends to value immaterial things more. But the one I think material thing would probably be the necklace that Sylvie gave her, because she's like, this is a massive show of trust and I'm not sure I'm ready for this, but okay. So it's kind of like the one irreplaceable thing she has, because she's used to like things breaking or being broken and just replacing them most of the time. So
Yeah, she spends a lot of time with Sylvie and Roxy. So
That's fair. Things break.
Yeah.
And, she also comes from an uber rich family where if literally anything breaks, it's replaceable.
yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that does not include the rich family's daughter's psyche. So
Yeah.
That's
Unfortunately, we have
We're-
not yet figured out
which
how to
was the
sell
first thing
replacement.
that was
on this episode.
Well, maybe we can break a few more things along the way.
Yeah.
we're here to
the
break
real
some
treasure
hearts.
is
some
everything
hearts.
we exploded along the way.
Break
Yes.
some hearts. Previously.
I mean, I'm also pro breaking some people, i.e. the
Yes.
werewolves.
Well, you can literally break
And
their
your
heart
father.
too. Like they do have an anatomical heart that you can break.
Chest burster.
Yeah.
It all comes back to the Furbies.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh shit, bro.
Yeah.
That image is gonna haunt me to the day I die. I hope
You're
y'all
welcome.
Oh,
recognize
now
that.
you do a reboot.
Sounds like Maria did her job right.
Ugh.
Wait
Previously.
until you have to shoot your own New Year's Eve date because a Furby is living inside of him.
Can we start the session, please?
We will have a 10 candles game eventually. Previously on Jukebox Justice. Sylvie and Roxy paid a visit to Grandpa Les to ask him about brainwashing and what could be done to mitigate the effects of that.
Super
He was-
subtle way.
He was able to offer some advice, such as practicing redirecting behavior should Roxy ever hear the words and phrases that set her off again. Sylvie also asked Grandpa Les some questions about how to reconcile her background and the ideas she grew up with the new values that she'd been learning from her friends. Meanwhile, Joe brought Tony and Roxy back to Halcyon and planned to distract them for a while until they could figure out how to broach the conversation of explaining everything to the other Roxy, who was yet unaware that there were two of her, at least. However, their planning was interrupted by a news conference where our beloved Councilman John Evans announced a partnership with Normal in an effort to curb superhero activity.
Beloved like the Black Death.
Their first step in protecting the best interests of normal citizens is to require all superheroes to register their powers with the city within the next 30 days. And people got upset, and other people went to go comfort said people, and
Same.
Roxy
Same.
is looking for Rampage.
To comfort.
Mhm.
And or plan a revolution. It's fine.
Yeah, it's
Same
fine.
thing.
I do think we're gonna have to escalate our glitter pranks into slightly irritating small carnivorous animal pranks. So
What a
That-
concerning sentence.
Or we start
Glitter
political warfare.
we can do both.
We can.
Just a little too happy. It's something.
Too happy for this game. Make it sad.
Okay, there we go. I love this song. This is one of my favorites. But I think we can pick up with Roxy and Elena flying through the streets of the warehouse district on Betty Crocker while Roxy screams at the top of her lungs for Rampage.
Rampage!
Looking for
my
someone or just a
God.
general battle cry?
Could be either.
Both.
It's
at
hard
this
to
point.
say.
Maybe.
Um,
One. Do both. Why choose one?
I imagine you're just like going up and down every street and like taking the cross streets and just
Mhm.
scouring out every inch of this area.
Yep. I want to like specifically kind of be targeting the area around the building where Joe got his face pancaked into the floor by Rampage.
Okay.
Because Rampage, that's I don't know, the best clue. Roxy
That's the
has about
most
where
you have to go off
that's
of.
the
at this
most I have to go on. And
point.
probably even if Roxy had more clues, that's probably still like the most she could deduce from this situation.
Okay. Also, start of the session, add a team to the pool. We're up to 16. 16.
16.
16!
So while this is going on, and Elena, you are like clinging on to Roxy on the back of this motorcycle as she flies through the streets. Your vision starts to take on a faint hint of yellow.
Uh-oh.
And it starts going a little fluid. That's the best way I can describe it at this point.
It's not good.
The
going
things like the
that fast,
solid
huh?
objects around you start to get broken down into their parts. You see these yellow threads making up everything around you. You see like all of the buildings are just vibrant shapes of different lines connecting everything. Roxy in front of you is more fluid. You can't exactly see through her per se, but you definitely see all of the different aspects that are connecting her together.
Just little molecules that look like hearts that have like little.
Her atoms are heart-shaped.
Yes.
And this kind of slowly fades into existence. A little kind of like hazy at first, and then the actual consistency and shapes of everything around you becomes less and less as this yellow hue and all of the threads connecting life together become more apparent.
Calamity, we have to stop the bike. My eyes are going weird.
Okay. She does not hit the brakes super fast because
That would be bad.
don't
That'd be
need
dangerous.
to do a tumble. Yeah.
We don't
But
need
she
any
will-
head injuries.
Yeah. Yes. Though I think Elena could probably float us, but I'm not sure if we want her to use her powers right at
I
this
don't know
moment.
what's gonna happen if that happens.
You can
She breaks apart the whole universe.
you can start braking and cruise to a stop. Pull over on the side of the road.
Yeah, Roxy will get off the bike and just like put Elena's like face. Are you okay?
As you're looking at Elena, you see her eyes are bright yellow.
Your eyes
At least they're not
look
melting out of my
different. Yeah, they're bright yellow.
skull. That's unusual. Everything is all melty.
Melty. That seems bad. How much water have you drank today? Did you have a snack?
I don't even know if she ate today. She said nothing
When was
but
the last
fake
time you
food
ate and drank?
forever.
I think we did have breakfast.
I think we had breakfast. Yeah, this morning with everybody.
How many hours ago was that? Like too many, probably.
And
I
for
imagine
for
Roxy-
Roxy, yes.
I mean, at this point, it's
Yeah.
probably approaching like 11 a.m. noon, so it's not been.
Oh, it's not
super long.
terrible.
Yeah, it's not late.
But for Roxy, it's been a minute.
I imagine that Roxy probably has snacks. Pocket snacks and such.
It's just hidden in her bike and her uniform.
Well, she uses a lot of energy. Being really strong and really small takes up a lot. It takes
yeah, that's
my gas tank isn't as large as it should be for how much power I got.
So you can pull out a snack and give it to Elena.
Yeah. Plus, her mother taught her to always have snacks
Mm-hmm.
when you leave, so it's like instilled in her brain to always have snacks.
I'm gonna look around.
Okay.
There's no. It all just kind of looks wet, liquidy.
Yeah, liquidy, flowy. The longer like you're looking,
Like
around,
everything's
it's
kind of melting.
Did you eat any weird
not really,
mushrooms
not
today?
really melting. Everything is still retaining the shapes that you recognize. So you can like look across the street and be like, yes, that is a warehouse. That looks like a warehouse.
I
You can
the
just see,
anatomical
like,
structure.
Kind of basically you can just see everything like connecting it together. When you look at Roxy, you can see all of these tiny little threads of light extending out from her. Some of them, like you follow one that's headed in your direction, you look down and you see this thread is connected to you.
Oh,
You look up in the sky, it can actually see beyond the atmosphere. You can see every
oh my gosh!
everything consisting of space, stars, and like far off planets you normally wouldn't be able to see during the day. And the longer you look at this, you're able to start seeing distinct layers.
Concerning at all?
Not concerning at all.
No,
Totally
no,
normal.
no.
Is
It's
there?
totally normal? Totally normal. No problem. At least you haven't blinked out of existence
Oh, that's
into another.
true.
Yeah.
Void cat.
Void cat.
Just hear the strange meowing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Freya just
Like,
pops in and
this
then
ghost
pops out.
meowing.
All right, so I can just kind of see forever now. That's pretty cool. Not concerning at all. Is there?
The Evasite.
There's like a bunch of little threads coming off of rocks. Are they
Mhm.
coming off of me?
Yes. You see lots of little threads, and as you're looking down, you see one that is thicker and more prominent than the others.
Off of me.
Off of you. Coming out of your center.
We need to find Rampage, but there is a. Do you know how Valkyrie sees the threads?
The tethers, yeah.
We have them all over us right now.
Should we follow some?
There's a big one coming off of me, and I wonder if we should follow that one. But I wonder if there's any of them off of you that would lead to Rampage. But that might be a stretch. I think we have to
Okay,
start
so
with this big mystery.
This is gonna sound weird, but have you tried touching them?
I will try touching the tethers.
Just touch
You
it
can-
blindly. It's fine. Nothing
You
bad could possibly happen.
Can move your hand through them, and they shift and flex a little bit, kind of like how you would imagine, atoms dispersing, but then they reach a point where they stop and then slowly contract back together and retain their solid shape.
Do you feel it? Like any one of them feels like more rampagey than the others?
I don't think there's any way to decide where they go until we get there.
Okay. Do you want to follow your large one, or should we follow one of mine?
Does Roxy have any that are bigger than normal?
Not so much in
Yeah.
size. Some of them seem to be brighter in color than others, but they're all
It's one of them purple and one of them
similar.
pink.
And one of
No,
them gold,
they are all,
and one
like,
of them red.
through your vision, everything is yellow.
Everything is yellow. Okay.
Yes.
You got yellow vision.
Different, slightly different shades of yellow to give you a sense of depth, but everything
Yeah.
is that same.
I have yellow vision.
Yellow.
Okay.
I have right there on your sheet. I have yellow vision.
Yeah.
Gonna be a deep cut for all my cinephiles out there. It's Mexico as depicted by Hollywood. Everything's yellow.
Everything is in sepia. I think we should follow the large one.
All
And
right.
also probably we're gonna have to tell Echo what's going on.
Do you want to go on the bike, or should we just go on foot?
I don't want to
Or-
lose the bike here.
Or do you want to fly? The bike will be fine.
You could fly. Yes, that might be the fastest way.
Well, it'll be the easiest way to see things. Although, I suppose we
see too
have
much.
time before the stupid registry, but I don't know what they're gonna do, if they're gonna hunt us down and try to physically force us to go to the. I need to see what technology they have. I need to know what normal is. We need to do reconnaissance. We need to send Sneaky Wolf to go look at stuff and smell stuff. Maybe climb the side of the building, go down a chimney like Santa Wolf. I don't know.
Santa Claus. Oh yes, that would work. His
Santa
claws in the
Claus,
name.
Yeah.
Come on. Well, first I think we follow this, and then while we're in the air, maybe we can spot Rampage as well. As long
Yeah.
as she's not
Roxy will just
inside a
find-
building at any given point.
Yeah, Roxy will just find somewhere between buildings, maybe. Yeah.
You can find an
and just-
alleyway.
Yeah, stash her bike there.
Chuck it into the nearest underground tunnel.
Mhm. Yeah.
I will activate my powers and float us up.
Okay.
All right.
You can do that, and as you look out above Halcyon, you just see all of these different interconnected threads forming buildings and structures and people and stretching out from people. You can start following this thick thread that is extending out from you.
And as you start moving through the air, you can see that it is drawing you outside of town.
Hmm.
Mm.
I wonder if that's the tether that Sylvie can see. But it's important to note that Roxy is doing this the entire time.
She's doing the Superman flying.
Okay.
I don't really want to go out of
That's
town
really
right
important. Because she's not used to flying. This is super cool.
I'll note the direction it is going, but I don't want to go out of town
Okay.
because things are a little sketchy right now.
Do you want to like follow one of mine that goes in the direction that we came from, like by the warehouse district?
Yeah,
Maybe
just
if you
Poke
can
around there and see if we can
look
find
for
any
that.
tangible
thread.
connection to Rampage. I don't know why you would have one.
This is
but
kind of a cool new power.
maybe.
I like that I'm not the only one whose power is evolving, because it would be scary if I was evolving by myself.
I wonder at this point, does Watchdogs even evolve? I guess it's he turned into like
Watch
four-legged.
Daddy's form, yeah.
But then you kind of does that balance it? 'Cause
Papa.
what you can do much more mid unposable thumb.
Yeah, but I think that his paw is probably faster. But I don't know. Like you could climb with, I don't know. There's werewolf
Wolf
magic.
biology.
Yeah.
He's a regular wolf, but he has opposable thumbs. That's the only thing that's different. It's exactly as horrible as it sounds.
And a prehensile tail.
That's just as bad as plants with human teeth, for the record.
All right.
Okay, no on that one. The plants with human teeth is so much worse.
You can start
Wolf thumbs.
pick out one of the threads coming off of Roxy and start to follow it through the city. And as you are looking around, there's something out of your periphery. Elena gets brighter, and you look up at like above you into the sky, and you see some bright
The aliens are coming.
illumination that looks like it might be a planet. It's a little hard to say. And then the yellow in your vision starts to fade and everything returns to normal.
Ash.
Oh. I did want to note the direction that thread was going to.
The
big
larger
one.
one? The big
Yeah.
one?
Oh.
See if it's the same place as.
It was headed east out of town.
Mm.
Or sorry, west out of town. Directions.
West would be towards Maine, America. Okay. East would be the ocean.
Well, your father's probably in Hollywood. He's probably a star.
Faking the moon. Oh, the moon landing hasn't even happened yet. Just kidding.
Nope.
Nothing.
Yes.
That's why he's in Hollywood. He's setting it up.
Your father's name is Lance Cash. He's a super cool Hollywood
Super cool
producer.
Hollywood producer.
Well,
Big planet show up.
briefly-
and then light goes back.
pause there for a minute. Because I know Cynthia had given Sylvie the number to the restaurant to make a reservation for Joe, the other Roxy, and Tony. Are they immediately going to be doing anything else, or just kind of like waiting in Hecate's base?
I think unless something that's like an immediate emergency comes up, Cynthia's still processing, so she's probably
Okay.
just staying put.
Sylvie's going to wait as long as she can before she will utterly book it out at the end or at the last minute to go observe.
I will say that Cynthia will go for that because
Oh.
she doesn't want Sylvie to be on her own for something that
Okay.
could be go badly.
Yeah,
All right.
probably a good idea.
I would imagine it's at also Sylvie. I can't remember if we set this up at the end of last session, but Sylvie probably contacts Joe and passes on.
I think Echo actually
Instructions?
did
Yeah,
Okay.
we had
Yeah.
pick up the comm and give very terse instructions while processing things.
Joe
Okay.
gave a vague promise of assistance, fully thinking to himself, how the hell are we gonna fight this?
All right. And then, all right, so we'll say as the time draws closer, the two of you can collect yourselves and head out to go observe the restaurant while everything else happens. And Joe, Roxy, and Tony had gone back to Fuel Good Repairs, got all cleaned up, changed clothes into something a little bit nicer, and made their way to this restaurant. Cynthia, would you like to describe this restaurant for us?
It's one of the sorry, it's one of the ones that's sort of very high up on a skyscraper. So like you got to take the elevator up to the top, and once you get your table, it's likely by a window and kind of like looks over all of Halcyon. It's meant for the rich and influential to sort of like think about how they more or less own the city in a very on the nose metaphor that's not really a metaphor at that point. But no one ever said they were creative.
Okay.
Tell me its name something like the Olympus Overlook or something.
Would you say this is pretty close to downtown?
It's in downtown, yeah.
Well, like central downtown, I guess.
Yeah, it's like in a what would be considered probably a fashionable district.
Okay.
The end. There's not really an entry fee per se, but you have to be like a certain level of notable to even get the time of day from them.
Okay. Are Cynthia and Sylvie observing outside, or were they also going to like kind of be undercover inside this restaurant?
My thought was outside, but I'm open to suggestions.
Well, you're at the point that you need to be in
I can't be
costume.
outside.
You
in,
can't be
civilian mode.
Civilian mode. Do you want Sylvie inside in civilian? Or do you want her in like a bird form trying to be inconspicuous a little
Glitter
closer?
bird.
Sylvie
Yes.
turns into a glitter lobster that's in the tank in the restaurant.
Oh man, I think that like at first Cynthia kind of just like selfishly kind of just wants to ask her to stay, but then it's like, no, it's probably not gonna be the best for this. It would probably be easier to be like a bird close enough to the window to hear things, but if you need to be inside to hear things instead, I don't know, something inconspicuous, because I don't think we have a reservation set for you as a person unless you take the time to do that.
We did not. So probably something with decent enough hearing that I can potentially hear the sound vibrations through the window.
As a bird, fly up to like a part of the window that they wouldn't be able to see you, and they'll turn into a rabbit or something.
Yes.
Just glitter rabbit. What's that doing on a building? Don't ask questions.
Okay.
It's decorative.
Posing as a gargoyle. It's fine.
Oh my god, I love it. Just glitter gargoyle.
And then
Glitter goyle.
we'll say that Cynthia is on a rooftop across the street from this restaurant.
She's got
Keep-
binoculars.
Okay, cool. All right, so Joe, you can lead Roxy and Tony into this restaurant, up the elevator into this restaurant.
Yep. And Joe is doing his best to hype this place up while knowing very little about it. Because I kind of feel like Sam is like just below the level of famous you would need to be to get into this place freely. So like he's been able to get access to here, but he hasn't been like too familiarized with it. So he's just like, I know some vague details. Sales pitch.
Okay. Yeah, Tony and Roxy are kind of skeptical, but like, yeah, I guess. If you say the food's good, then we'll be the judge of that.
I mean, to be fair, you guys have a pretty high bar to clear with your mom's cooking, but this place is pretty good too.
Pretty good, ain't Mama DeMarco?
It's probably really pretentious fare for the record.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
probably.
but you can.
The logic there though is since it's really hard to actually get in, it's probably safer for people trying to approach them in civilian mode.
You can get up to the top floor, and the elevator doors open, and there's a maitre d' waiting at a little podium who has a reservation booklet in front of him, and he looks up and says, and you can like is judging you, definitely is looking over your clothes and is judging you, and is like, can I help you?
Yes, reservation for 3, 1 o'clock. Should be under Hithathley.
Like scans the booklet, taps his fingers a couple times. It says, so it seems. Right this way. He will turn with a little click in his step and lead you into the restaurant proper, over to a table with 4 chairs that is up against one of the windows so you can see out.
Joe like turns around and gives a little bow to the DeMarcos, and then as he turns back, he's just like
and
Is Sylvie able to see how this maitre d' is treating them?
probably not. I'd say there's probably not this immediate behavior. Like they're probably too far away for you to hear what's being said. And I imagine there's like
But
a little
his body language isn't overt.
Not really. It's very much he's very much like standing up straight, like perfect posture, and has his hands behind his back.
He doesn't make the list yet. It's fine.
He gives off like stylistically similar vibes to Bertram, but is just like a little more uptight, or probably more than a little, several degrees more uptight.
just a few less millimeters in regards to how tightly
not-
everything needs to be
Not as
secured.
relaxed in what he's doing. But he brings this group over to the table and will say, your table. There's already
Thank you.
menus laid out, and says, there's several will be over. Take your drink orders. Then he turns on his heel, again, very like snappily, and will walk back to the entrance in the podium. So
All right.
and so Joe probably sits on one side of the table and Tony and Roxy sit on the other. But you have a nice view of downtown Halcyon.
I have curiosity. Do I see my compatriots anywhere? Joe would be like looking around the restaurant to see like, are they in here? Because he still doesn't really know what the plan is on their end.
Yeah, looking around the restaurant, like inside, you do not see either of them. So probably as you're turning to look out the window, you just see this like glitter pigeon giving you the side eye. Yeah. Just right outside this window on the ledge.
There's just like the subtlest little like wave from Joe as he sort of like pretends not to take extreme notice of the pigeon. But internally he's like, oh, thank God.
Sylvie ruffles her feathers in acknowledgement.
Okay. And Joe look over the menu, like chatter about like appetizer or something, and then eventually like say something along the lines of, I'm sorry, I'll be right back. And you use the restroom again.
Tony just gives you a look and is like,
I know, I'm
right.
sorry, I will be right back.
You can get up and scurry away and get to the bathroom. Very nice bathroom. Not nice enough where they have an attendant, but there aren't like heated towels. Luckily for you, no.
Slip into a stall. And then watch time to echo.
I'm still muted. Echo hair.
Okay, we're in. What's the plan?
Awesome.
Hacker voice. I'm in.
Above the table, because I feel like I'm forgetting, wasn't the goal that you were going to tell them what was going on?
The goal was Joe was going to try the phrase on Second Roxy. And see if
Right,
anything
yes. Thank you. I have the brain of a goldfish lately. Well, try the phrase, and hopefully nobody dies.
happened. Not very reassuring.
Good plan.
I mean, you're the one who wanted to take point on this. If you don't want to, you can always leave and we can try it ourselves.
More like felt I had to. Okay, so just to confirm, it's not another Fae outside the window. That is Sylvie, right?
Should be.
Okay,
Do you know any other glitter pigeons?
I guess not, but you know,
Can't be too careful, I know.
it's been a rough few days, okay?
Do you remember the phrase?
Yeah, it's you're like shuffling as like Joe is like fishing around in his pocket.
Yes.
Unit 5214, conduct protocol Omega 14.
Correct.
Shit, she didn't hear that, did she?
Unlikely. Unless she's outside the door.
No.
If you can, I'd like you to pay special attention to what happens at each stage of the phrase. If it happens directly at the end, it's good to know. If things start kicking in the middle of the phrase, that's also good to know.
I'll try to focus in, do my thing. Senses aren't as good in human form, but I can still try to
course.
zero in.
Your priority should be keeping both you and them safe. It's more if you notice anything.
Should try to warn Tony somehow.
That's true.
Actually, I think I've got an idea on that.
A good idea?
An idea.
Is it something that I can help with? Or that would require my help?
Yeah, actually, yeah, it is. I need you to spill his drink onto him.
I'm on a rooftop 2 buildings over. If you want Drinks Village, you're gonna need to do it glitter pigeon style.
What?
Yeah, bird flies in a window. Definitely happens all the time at fancy restaurants. Spills the drink. Don't ignore the glitter.
For context here, the window's like closed, right? Or is this like an open space that a bird literally could just fly in?
It's closed.
It's enclosed.
Yeah, I figured.
I think Cynthia was like half jokingly envisioning Sylvie in pigeon form just smashing through the window for maximum chaos.
Jeez. All right. Okay.
Well,
I can.
if you're, it might take some doing, but if I time it right, I could maybe surprise a server mentally when they're next to the drink and see if that's enough to knock it over. Most people don't expect to hear voices in their heads.
Yeah. Yeah, that. I think that'll do it. Just give me a heads up. I need to get something ready first.
How about you give me a signal and tell me what it would be? I'll be watching. I have eyes on the place. Conversely, we could try to set up a mental link. The distance is a little far, but we know each other pretty well at this point.
Yeah, but you're already reaching to do the thing with the server, right? I don't want to tax you.
Consider it more proof of concept. If I can't reach you, then there's no chance I'm going to reach them.
Fair point.
You say something, I switch off the connection to you, switch the connection to them. Hopefully there's some chaos.
Okay. Just try to time it when they're next to Tony. I need something to spill on him so I can hand him a napkin.
All right. Say
Charlie
something.
knows exactly what Joe is doing.
Say something mentally when we get to that point.
Stealing his tricks.
Say the signal's party time, I guess.
I like it. All right. I'll let Sylvie know what's going on and we can get going from there.
Okay. Watchdog out.
Echo out. And since Echo has general telepathic communication with Sylvie when she's in glitter creature form, she's going to mentally relay that, partially as just a test of the distance. Since we're going from progressively weakening the bond she's trying to create. So strongest because we have this specific connection with the necklace, then slightly weaker because she knows Joe but it's at a distance, and then slightly weaker because random server. We'll see.
You're like pretty much across the street.
Yeah.
Sylvie Pigeon is in line of sight. You can, telepathically communicate easily enough.
I do so and let her know what's going on. Backup plan might be, if it doesn't work, making aggressive pigeon movements outside the window.
Yes. Hearing the waiter.
Turn to a tiger. That's a normal thing to see that high up. Glitter
And
tiger.
gaslight the waiter into not knowing into thinking he saw a tiger.
Isn't that the plot of Twilight Zone episode?
Maybe, I don't know.
I think I remember a Twilight Zone episode where a shapeshifter was just screwing with someone like that.
I love it. When she's relayed that, she's going to try to link up to whatever Joe's doing at the moment.
I'd say it doesn't, since Joe was talking to you while he was in the bathroom. So you probably can't link up immediately after explaining the situation to Sylvie, but as soon as he comes back within line of sight and sits down at the table, you can connect with him.
Can you hear me? She says mentally.
You notice like the tiniest hitch in his step as it connects. And you just hear back, "Oh, still getting used to that."
Fair enough. Good luck.
Thanks. And I feel like as Joe is walking back, he's like looking around a little bit, trying to specifically find just like a loose napkin, like maybe on an unoccupied table or something.
Yeah, you can probably find one of those. It's probably not super duper crowded in here yet, but they like to keep all of the tables set as consistently as possible when there aren't patrons at them, so you can grab a cloth napkin as you pass by one.
And Joe will try to like write as he's walking with like a pen that he's got in his pocket.
Okay.
And he'll just write on it, testing now.
Okay.
If I remember correctly, Joe had explained like roughly what needed to happen in regards to Second Roxy here.
Yeah. You'd gone through all that back at the cabin.
Yep. No, sit back down at the table, trying to make it as inconspicuous as possible that I've got an extra napkin. And just be friendly, just like, oh, what'd I miss?
Roxy goes into depth talking about all the different items on the menu. Just like, this looks good, and you know, the steak dish, if they can get that browning right on both sides, it should be pretty good, but we'll have to see how their skills match up to Mom's. And it's
They
just
are
like,
professionally trained.
that doesn't mean anything. And it's just like critiquing everything on the menu. And I'll say, like within seconds of you sitting down, a waiter comes by and starts taking drink orders and is like, would you like to see a wine menu, or perhaps have some brandy, all those fancy things.
A little early in the day for brandy. You two have any opposition to wine?
Neither of them do, no. So you can select a nice. Well, are you going to do the selecting?
Joe will try. He does not know what he's doing in regards to that. But he's seen Sam do it enough times, so...
Okay. I imagine you raise up your finger to point at the menu and like, this one. And the server just like purses their lips. Like, certainly.
Is Sylvie
And-
maybe slightly judging you on which wine you picked? Yes. Yes, there is a potential.
What wine did you
Judgmental
pick?
pigeon in the corner of the
Yes.
screen.
Specifically because you haven't picked your meal yet. So have fun with that pairing.
Joe wouldn't know what he was doing if he wasn't already like low-key stressed about this whole situation, because he doesn't know what's gonna happen when he says these words.
But the server goes off to get. You already have wine glasses on the table, so basically just goes off to get the bottle, and we'll come back and uncork the bottle and start to.
And as he's approaching,
Okay.
Cynthia will hear party time.
Okay. Cynthia's going to try to connect
Mhm.
to the server.
Okay.
And if successful, she's just, when the guy gets close, really loudly going to be like, boo.
Okay. Go ahead and roll to provoke someone.
Ooh, interesting. Nice. Okay. Roll that with superior.
Mhm.
I have no conditions right now, so.
Because you're trying to get them to spill the wine, cause a mess.
That's with my superior. That is an 11.
All right. Okay. This server lets out a little bit of a squeak and like jumps up and then stumbles, and the tray tumbles out of their hand, and this wine bottle smashes across the table, sending wine and glass across everyone there. And this server's just staring at it in horror. And like I think there's just this comedic pause before the tray like comes down behind them and slams on the floor. And they pause there for a moment and it's just like, let me get something to clean that up, and we'll go and like grab some napkins and start trying to soak up the wine spillage.
Joe
and
like
pick up bits of
grabs some
glass.
other napkins, like trying to like help sop it up. And I presume the three of us have been splashed a bit.
Oh yes, no, yeah. You all three of you have wine splatters like all over yourselves.
Yeah,
This was
so,
a whole
like,
ass bottle.
Yeah. He like hands some napkins to Roxy to like really get her focused in on it. And then like he sort of taps Tony and will hand him the napkin with the message on it. And just sort of like give him a look of like,
Wait, was this a white wine or a red wine?
It was red.
Yes.
So it's a mess. It's a mess. He's just like, what now? Just like,
And-
okay.
Just like help the waiter like get things cleaned up, and maybe a little bit just subtly just insert some barbs in regards to, oh, you're gonna judge me for coming here? Well, you just dropped a bottle of wine.
I mean, this is a different person.
This is a different guy.
The
I-
maitre d' was the one who. I mean,
Oh,
they
okay.
did judge you
Sorry.
on your wine choice, but the maitre d' was far more
Okay,
snootier.
maybe a
than
little less vitriol.
this server.
A little less vitriol then.
They did have some judgment on the wine choice, but you know.
So yeah, Joe will help clean up as best he can.
Yeah, a couple of other servers come over and assist, and the maitre d' will also come over and kind of huff at the mess, but will say, let's move the three of you to a clean table, shall we? And we'll move you like a couple tables down from where you were sitting, to somewhere
Thank
that
you.
isn't covered in red wine. And they work to clean up the mess, and then someone else goes to retrieve a different bottle of wine and comes over to properly fill the glasses this time.
There's
Okay.
a little glitter pigeon that's hopping along the window sill.
Yes.
It's just, I like to imagine it's got like, you know, that like jingle bell sound that that follows some characters in like Christmas movies. Every time it hops, just shing, 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 shing. All right, but once the new wine has been poured, Joe will like sort of prompt everybody to start looking at like actual meals. And as he's like lifting up his menu, he sort of locks eyes with Tony, and then over mental link, if Cynthia's still connected, just says, "Here we go."
Cynthia is watching.
Okay.
And like just barely audible, Joe will whisper, "Unit 5214, conduct protocol Omega 14." And as he says that, he like zeroes in on Second Roxy sensory wise, just like looking for any sort of reaction.
Can Sylvie hear him initiate the phrase or see his lips moving for the phrase?
You can probably see it. I don't know if you can.
You
hear
can
it through
probably
the
see
window.
his
Yeah.
lips moving. He's probably speaking softly enough that you can't hear it through the glass. But you can
And
definitely see him
she-
talking and like watching the other Roxy.
Can she activate her sight to see if there's any activity in this Roxy's brain mimicking the other responses as well?
Vision, X-ray
Sure.
vision.
Yeah, you can do that. You, Joe, you finish saying this phrase and your eyes like immediately shoot up to look at Roxy, and Toadie's just kind of like holding his breath next to her, kind of like glancing out of the corner of his eye at her. And there's probably like a split second, and then she looks up and meets your eyes and says, "Say something, Joe."
I was saying, what do you think about the risotto?
I mean, I guess it's worth a shot. I can't really mess up a good. I don't know if I could mess up, but it'd be really tough to mess up a good risotto. So I think it's an option.
And as she's talking, Joe mind links back to Cynthia. I don't know if she heard me. Should I say it again?
Sylvie, you did not see any brain activity.
Sylvie is shaking her head if Joe is also looking.
It was a pretty sensitive phrase when it was said in the past, so I think you're probably in the clear.
So, other Roxy probably not involved in whatever's going on with those goons, then?
Could be. I still think it's most likely that it's Roxy if Roxy had never gone and used the hairspray and been kidnapped and gone through that whole ordeal. But It's also possible it could be a cloning operation, and this clone could just have a different activation phrase. But there's no way for us to test that. So for now, enjoy dinner. Might be the last time we get to relax in a little while.
1, ominous. 2, I think this is closer to lunch.
Time is a social construct.
No, it. Huh.
All right, you can enjoy your food while Cynthia and Sylvie keep watch.
Cynthia is picking up the bill for this, so feel free to order whatever.
Does Sylvie notice anything odd about this, Roxy?
No.
No. Okay.
Seems disturbingly normal. Interpret that how you will. Meanwhile, while they are enjoying their lunch, is Roxy still, other Roxy, still shouting for Rampage as she's flying with Elena through the warehouse district? Now that Elena's vision has gone back to normal?
Yeah, absolutely. And doing those like flippy things that she was practicing in the
base.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
As long as
Okay.
we didn't plummet to the ground when my vision went back to normal, I think just
No.
stay up here to look.
Yeah, as
Good.
you're moving her forward, it looks like she's doing like cool like flips in slow motion. Like
Yeah, the vision, your vision going yellow and then coming back to normal didn't seem to have any sort of effect on the rest of your powers.
Okay. Just something wrong with
It
that.
might have felt like a little disorienting at first as you're like, whoa, everything is
Uh-huh.
not bright yellow anymore and has, material shape, but anyway. As you're flying through the warehouse district. Roxy, well, actually both of you here. Someone say, if you missed me so much, you could have called.
Paige just starts trying to flip that way.
I will put us back on the ground so we don't have
She
to flip.
steps out from an alleyway and has jeans on and a hoodie up to kind of shield her face a little bit.
Superhero landing. That Roxy like tries to do a superhero landing, even though it's like super slow, so it's in very slow motion.
Nothing breaks as Elena puts you down very gently. But Rampage kind of like shoves her hands into the pocket of her hoodie and is still kind of like in this entrance to the alleyway and just leans up against one of the walls of the buildings and just like,
I would have totally called you. There were a couple of problems with that. Like, first one, you never gave me your number. Second,
guess that's
we
fair. Yeah.
yeah, I
We
can't call
also-
you without a number.
Veron,
We were in an alternate universe.
yes, there's no point in
where
being
the
weird
time
vague.
moves differently, and there are no superpowers. It was a weird.
That's
place.
weird.
Indisposed for a few months.
That's
Yeah.
unfortunate.
Yeah, and apparently there were like doubles like riding around in our bodies, so it was weird.
Horrifying.
Yeah. Well, some of our lives got messed up more than the others. That, thing is thinking of the Joe in her head.
That way you came to find me? Do you need to disappear for a while?
Nah, I was
What?
gonna ask if you had seen the news yet.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there was more
more
than just the news.
Well, I was worried about you too, but like also, have you seen the news? And I'm glad that you're not smashing city council related buildings. So
Not
Good
yet.
good job on that. Well,
Why,
I
why
feel
did we come to see Rampage?
It's still early.
Write that down.
Well, Roxy first didn't want Rampage to go on a rampage. That was like her concern, was that Rampage was going to go on a rampage, which would have been counterproductive to the political warfare that she'd like to put into place, which I'm sure that everybody is going to love her plan that she hasn't told anybody, and she's just going to kind of tell Elena as they're going.
Oh, we were going to see Grandpa Les for some
get
reason.
the communicator.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
we,
yep.
that
Swap
was just like a
communicators.
quick. We don't even really have to act that
I
out
was just
unless
wondering why
you
it
want
was
to do a
just-
Grandpa Les scene. But
Rampage.
No, I was wondering what we were doing because my notes were very vague last week.
so we have some problems. I don't know.
We all got problems.
A lot of problems, right? Like the registry is a
Uptool.
big problem.
Eh.
But more
Don't
pressing than
register.
that, there are two of me. And also they might have so like, did they brainwash you at all when you were in the military?
You have a like code phrase.
That like activates you to do stuff?
No.
Maybe?
I mean,
weird, because I do.
the most brainwashing we got, typical military stuff.
Oh yeah, like
Fighting the
stripping of
enemy.
yeah,
less than
stripping of
human,
identity. Yeah,
all that
yeah.
stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But
Did you say biting the enemy?
Dehumanization.
what?
Did you say biting the enemy or fighting the enemy?
A little
Just-
of both. Call me.
Fighting
Depends on
the
how many
enemy.
secret werewolves they have in the military.
Ignore their humanity. That might have been what you heard.
Yeah, no. I've got a secret activation phrase that makes me do stuff. Weird.
Were you enlisted in the military?
No.
Are you sure?
I'm not old enough to have gone. I'm too young to have been in the war. I
Hey,
assure you that I was not of
the
age to be
sense of
drafted.
legality is already really fuzzy surrounding me.
You're right. You make a good point.
You probably don't want to rule anything out yet.
I don't remember ever being in the military, so if I was, I do not recall this event. But there's another one of me in the world. But also she doesn't have powers. So anyways, that's the thing.
That
And
might
like,
just be universe glitch, filling in void.
could be
other
universe
Roxy.
glitch because I did break reality to go to the other universe. That was a thing. Twice it was a thing. But anyways, so there's that. And then there's also a werewolf cult. So we were wondering, we could probably use a hand or two with the whole, there's a lot going on. I don't
Sounds like
know what your feelings are on teaming up to help the city and or ruin John Evans' life and destroy normal.
I mean, I was gonna say I care more about a shady organization rather than a squishy politician man who I could probably, beat to a pulp.
Like
that's
that. I
fair.
thought about that. I really did. Listen, I really thought about it because he's a horrible person and I have other personal reasons for disliking him more than just his ridiculous roster registry, whatever bullshit.
We can just string him up by his underwear.
We could. There's a lot of flagpoles.
Yeah.
Anyways.
There's one right in front of the Capitol building.
Capitol
Capitol building.
building. Yeah, normally we just like move his car on top of like things where he can't get it or
severe social embarrassment.
Yeah.
That'll get him to shut up.
I've got some ideas. need to wait for other people to kind of process what's going on. Some people have, yeah, I know. I'm trying to be a team player, but I have had some thoughts about like maybe I know people who can shapeshift into different people and then use powers as him to discredit him politically.
Again, I think your perspective is too small. You gotta
All right,
broaden your thinking. He's a squishy politician. Anyone could probably beat him to a pulp.
Right. I want to ruin his life from the inside out, though. I don't think he just deserves to be punched. I believe that he deserves to have his entire reputation and life torn apart.
That's fair.
And then to live with the shame.
But if you only focus on that, that's probably not going to solve the problem.
No, I have other plans for that. But like, well, I don't know if I should be in charge of this, but I'm going to try because that's where we're at right now. We need to start solving some of these problems because we got lots of problems. So I was wondering if you might want to help. The other thing is that Rook Labs was doing some testing on some individuals, and we recently, I feel like maybe you and me have some kindred spiritness because we might have both been experiments.
I mean, I know I was an experiment.
There's a good probability that I was an experiment. Which I don't really want to emotionally process right now, but I definitely have feelings
When
about
I get my hands on Rook Lab's roster.
Yeah.
Actually, we might be able to help you because we think they are involved somehow. Maybe not necessarily in the werewolves, but they're involved in something we were up to.
I mean, these can't all but be isolated incidences. Because I guess
Rook Labs might have been behind the hairspray or something.
Yeah, there's got to be some
they
sort
have
of
many
relation.
fingers and many pie.
I suspect that they might have at least some sort of connection to the Calamity as a super soldier, secret super soldier, sleeper agent. I don't know. But so we need to address that, but also the fact that they're testing on people doesn't sit right with me. And I do believe that they have some relation to Normal, probably because Normal has a history of testing on people too. It's
maybe not.
I don't know, but
they might not be directly connected, but maybe some people who are involved with one splintered off and formed their own organization.
Right.
Wanting to do different things with testing, power testing.
You could be totally right. I would imagine that there's at least some scientists that were involved in at least one of our experimentation involved with Rook Labs and or Normal.
Thinking about it, I think at this point it's kind of unlikely that Normal and Rook Labs are directly connected.
Probably not directly, but there might be some sort of, and then it gets even murkier, right? Because the goal of the werewolf cult is werewolf supremacy. They would like to enslave the population of Halcyon.
Good luck with that.
Right. Well, that's the thing, right? So here, we're going to go into Roxy conspiracy mode now. Sorry, but not sorry. I don't have a chalkboard, but we'll make it work without it, right? And Elena, pipe in whenever you have ideas too, because I think Elena is sometimes better at explaining stuff. But the werewolves would like to enslave the population of Halcyon. The number one barrier to that happening, in my mind at least, well, if not all of the werewolves, specifically the leader of the werewolves would like to enslave the population of Halcyon. Super powerful wizard wolf or something. I don't know. Sorcerer wolf. Who knows?
Might be from Kansas.
Might be from Kansas.
All right. That's a thought.
I don't that's really beyond the point. But the number one barrier to that happening is supers, the number of supers in Halcyon. Who could take on a werewolf pack better than supers?
I guess.
So I think there might be a werewolf conspiracy. Don't tell Joe I said that, Elena.
No, that's
Or, I mean-
pretty sound.
I mean, don't tell Watchdog. She was using code names. Sorry. That was a Jenna
Roxy's a
mistake.
little bit more paying attention.
Yeah, Roxy's
With
paying
code
attention more
names.
than Jenna. Jenna, it's Friday. Jenna's tired.
Yeah. It would make sense that way they have, if they don't have a way to get rid of all of their biggest threats, they have a whole list of them and they can just, eat their families or something.
Yeah. Hold something over their head, or
I don't know how the rook.
run them out of town,
Yeah.
or maybe Normal has some way to contain us. I'm not sure.
I don't really want to find out.
We can go test those boundaries.
I was gonna say Rook Labs also might be working on something to contain us, but that's just a stretch. If this is all going on, it wouldn't.
I
surprise
don't
me.
think that's going great for them, though. I have an inkling that Rook Labs
They
was
can't even
involved with the
contain
hair-
their own project.
Yeah, the seaweed person.
That was.
Gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, so we got a lot of problems, and some of this is probably going to come back to what, I mean, at least the science come back to what happened to you, I just figured we could work together. How's Tempest doing? Is she a little calmer?
Later problem. Anyway, I want to split some normal heads.
Yeah.
We can give you any information if we find out, but we saw the news and then came around here.
We should get you a communicator. I really should have thought of that.
I
before
thought she
left the
had
house.
one, but that was.
Oh, did she have one?
You gave her one.
I think
yeah.
that was.
Oh, did I?
Cynthia gave her one.
uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
When
So
we
could have
saw her
called.
randomly.
Whoops. Roxy. I don't know if Roxy was there when that happened. I'm not sure.
I think you were, because it was with the sirens and everyone was trying to skedaddle after.
Mm.
Oh wait, no, this was. No, it was a later point because you knocked out Rampage, took her with you to the junkyard. It was when you were giving her, like, sending her off to go.
So after we ran into
Oh,
her?
it was after the encounter with Tempest, because Tempest had been neutralized, and it was
Okay.
like, need to get them to a safe spot, and before splitting up,
Okay.
Cynthia gave Rampage a communicator so they could touch base
Okay.
later.
Now I remember.
Long
Well,
ago.
then I absolutely just ran through the warehouse district and yelled at the top of my lungs for no reason. But that's very Roxy-esque, so it's fine. It's in character.
You've been going through a lot.
I've been real stressed out.
Also, Rampage is just like, it's nice to know I'm needed.
Well, I missed you too, we bought a Mexican restaurant, so we should go out for Mexican food some night.
I'm down. Sounds
yeah.
delicious.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, so I just thought you might want to be involved and we could use a hand. And
I mean, I think one way or another, we're all kind of getting involved in this.
well, we're all
Mm.
involved regardless.
It's a normal thing, but the werewolf is
I
kind
don't-
of also.
Normal and Councilman Evans didn't really give us a choice.
How much you would directly want to associate with me throughout this process, though, is.
Well, I think that probably we need to take a two-pronged, well, at least two-pronged. We need more than two, probably. But, like a two-part approach, like a PR approach to keep the rest of the city in our good graces, and then also a maybe less legal approach.
You have fun with the PR.
I already knew what team you were going to be on.
That obvious.
Yeah. I mean, I am under a firm belief that laws and morals aren't the same thing. What is legal isn't always what's moral, and what's moral always isn't always what's legal. So, I mean, in order, the people who run the city, you know, let's take a look at their morals. They're not great, okay? And these are the people making the laws, so I have a distrust for them.
Don't have to explain that to me. I was knee deep in that shit myself. So
yeah. So, I think that would, and we can help you with some of the illegal stuff, just not like anything like so overt. It's going to be a little more covert stuff, you know? But I also wanted to ask you if you had any brainwashing, or if there was any type of program like
There was
that.
some kind of
doesn't-
With
I mean,
Excel
I had
that
like
you knew about.
no known brainwashing. I mean, there was slightly known brainwashing. There was the whole, patriotic war, blah 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 bullshit.
Yeah.
But nothing like whatever you're
It's-
talking about. I didn't have
don't
any. I'm
you
not a
think
sleeper agent that I know of.
Right. Well,
I didn't have any
am.
code words.
I am, but I'm pretty sure I am, which is endlessly distressing for me. But it is what it is at this point. Until we figure out how to unhook my brain from those pathways, then it is what it is, and we just
Go bust some kneecaps. That'll make you feel better.
it will make me feel better. I have specific kneecaps that I've got a list of specific kneecaps that I'd like to bust in that order, but I can be flexible. Just no innocent kneecaps, just bad
Whoever's
kneecaps.
you bust are gonna be super flexible after that.
One of Joe's kneecaps is on that list, isn't it?
No.
Maybe.
Haven't made her that mad yet.
He just gets a soft kick in the shin.
Broken rib here and there, okay? Which is painful, but far less destructive than a broken kneecap.
All right. Well,
All right, so
that's what you wanted to catch me up on.
yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I'd like
impending
to invite you out
devils.
for Mexican food, Just
Maybe
hang
we can
out.
also, after maybe wait a few days, see if we find any more information on the normal, and we can business lunch. It is tax write-offs that way.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure you and I should go to the news station today. Easy living and make a statement.
Before we make any big blanket statement, we have to contact Echo.
I gotta talk to somebody. What? Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right. We should do that.
Have fun with your PR shenanigans.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go do illegal shit.
Okay, have fun.
And
Good luck.
Rampage turns and walks deeper into the alley.
Try not
Paul-
to kill anyone, but
Elena will write a number.
I'll
Paul,
try.
if you get in the jail,
David,
this is a very good lawyer.
Oh, sweet.
Just her family lawyer, just in case. Tell him
I was gonna ask, is it the mob lawyer or is it the family lawyer?
which family. I don't know.
the family.
A family lawyer.
It's the werewolf mafia lawyer.
But as Rampage disappears into the darkness of the alleyway, all of you across the city start to feel this deep rumbling,
Fuck.
which you quickly realize is akin to an earthquake.
Uh-oh.
And that's where we'll take our break.
You and your damn plot.
One day. One day.
No!
Yes.
I have had a scene on the back burner for so long.
Was that the Roxy Joe scene?
No. It's the
Is
Henry
that the one
scene.
where you're definitely not proposing to Henry?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my god!
Why do you think things keep happening?
Please talk to Roxy before you make
Firing.
this horrible life decision.
I'm just waiting for my
Didn't
I
turn.
Roxy
wanna
just say
talk
she was
with
going to go
Roxy.
talk to the news without consulting other people first?
She
Well,
wants to buy
somebody
it.
used some circus tickets to make Roxy do something stupid. So,
Oh, all right. Okay.
Someone else used some circus tickets to name an NPC. So
Okay.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
That's what you can use your channel points for.
we're gonna have some fun with that
Oh no.
in just 10 minutes.
Hey, this might come out as total madness, but just wait. I really need to tell you something. 'Cause I feel alone in a room, surrounded by people I wanna know. If you're feeling it too, out on the roof, here with you, it all seems so distant. With you, under street lights, right next to the skyline. With you, yeah. I've been a cynic for so many of my days. Now you just my makeup believer out of me. 'Cause you look so pretty in the sunrise, and somehow now everything is alright. I feel like every word is so translucent, so real. Oh, won't you tell me how you do it? Now I'm high, but the buzz in the room, surrounded by people I couldn't care, but nobody but you. Sway, move me now, baby, dance, give into the moment. With you, under street lights, right next to the skyline. With you.
There are no consequences to any of our actions at any given point in time, so everything's fine.
Yeah, it'll be
Letters
fine.
are X and Q.
Captain.
He's been here the whole time.
I just noticed.
Captain is so
I've been
cute.
eating and filing my
He's
food.
just like, I love you. I love you. I love you.
He's a fluffy boy.
He's huge too.
He is 9 pounds, which is not that big.
Why do you appear to be so much bigger than you are, Cat?
He's a big
He's all
looking
poof.
boy.
He
So
also
fluffy.
he looks bigger in pictures and videos because it is mostly fluff.
Got
Blondie-
it.
But yeah, he weighs 9 pounds.
Blondie weighs more than that.
How much more than that
99%
does Blondie
fluff by
weigh?
volume.
Blondie.
I think she's 15 pounds, I think.
My cat's 22.
That diet's really not working, and she's really not happy about it still. I keep getting yelled at
Barrett's
all the
diet
time.
is working. I think he's down to 16 pounds. So
We're getting wildly off topic.
yeah.
We always do.
That's
Sorry,
what
we're
the
talking about our
icebreaker was
overweight
about our
and not
cat's
overweight
weight, right?
cats. Yeah.
No.
I have a taco.
I okay.
ADHD has kicked in. It's all downhill from here.
The main communicators are built slightly differently than the other ones.
That's fine. I can use a bonus one for a day, though. It'll be fine. Also, we're on the buddy system, so somebody else should have their communicator as well. As long as we don't deviate from the buddy system. Where's Joe? I thought we were doing a buddy system.
He's
He
with Tony.
decided to- Yeah.
Remember?
Is Tony included in the buddy system?
I would assume. 'Cause they're buddies. That's how the system work. You go with buddy.
Flawless logic.
I love it.
Tony
we always
also
go
does have
together?
enough knowledge to communicate with us, I would assume, in this
Yeah.
situation.
Mm-hmm.
Technically, other Roxy's there too. And if we're the same person because I'm a clone, then technically it's still buddy system, I guess. Sort of. I don't know.
When you feel like it's over and nothing else matters, I know you feel so divided. Pick yourself up again and you better start walk, girl. Open up your step, hear you talk, girl. You have come too far to give it up now, even though it seems there's no way out. Take a look in the mirror now, what do you see? You can be anything you want to be, you know. You will never be alone. Girl, go make your move. There's nothing left to prove. I know that you will find your love again. Don't be ashamed to cry. Hold your head up high. I know that love will save the day. When you feel like you're stranded at the edge of the world, I know you've been taken for granted. Give some love to yourself and you better start walk, girl. Open up your step and hear you talk, girl. You have come too far to give it up now, even though it seems there's no way out. Take a look in the mirror now, what do you see? You can be anything you want to be. Hey, this might come out as total madness, but just wait. I really need to tell you something. 'Cause I feel alone in a room, surrounded by people. I wanna know if you're feeling it too. Out on the roof, here with you, it all seems so distant. With you, under street lights, right next to the skyline. With you, yeah, you. I've been a cynic for so many of my days. Now you just my makeup believer out of me. 'Cause you look so pretty in the sunrise, and somehow now everything is alright. I feel like every word is so translucent, so real. Oh, won't you tell me how you do it? Now I'm high, but the buzz in the room, surrounded by people. I couldn't care, yeah, but nobody but you. Sway, move me now, baby, dance, give into the moment. With you, under street lights, right next to the skyline. With you.
Make you fall onto the ground, but I know you will turn it around. Oh, this is all we got, and I know you'll make a mistake. Get interference and lose your way. Find the light when it rains. Oh, this is all we got. Show me life, show me love, make a change. Time is promise us we can wait for better days, but the days won't come. Show me light, show me love, show me light, show me love. Make a change, time is up. We can wait for better days, but the days won't come. Show me light, show me love. This is all we got. Show me light, show me love. This is all we got. Show me love. This is all we got. Show me love. This is all we got. Show me love.
Cool. So,
The earth
Well-
shakes, everyone dies.
Rocks
Yeah.
fall, everyone dies.
Buildings
make new
fall, everyone
characters.
dies.
Oh my God.
I'm done with your bullshit.
That's fair.
Okay. Time to
Valid.
be more bullshitty
Not
characters.
quite. I'm on my bullshit.
so
Warned you, I'm playing the plants.
You've had
Play
you've
with
involved
plants.
a lot of bullshit recently, so
The plants are the ones that keep our one building,
Yes.
the penthouse, like up and standing. They just use their like roots to keep it in place.
So, yeah, buildings shake, and being the closest, Cynthia, Sylvie, and Joe start to hear the sound of a structure crumbling
Oh,
near central downtown.
wasn't me.
Cynthia
Oh, that's not
immediately
good.
starts levitating because. Question: Can Freya fly?
She can teleport.
yeah,
Freya's a
Freya
cat.
can
Okay.
just
Freya's fine.
teleport back and forth.
Cat. She will
mean,
always
she's a
land on her
fake
feet.
cat.
She can alter her
I mean, she
own
can-
momentum.
she can
as
jump
she
onto your shoulder.
teleports. It's fine.
Mhm.
Well,
That's
if she
true.
cares to, Cynthia will put Freya on her shoulders unless Freya wants to teleport away, in which case, valid.
Freya will jump up on your shoulder.
I
Nice.
think Sylvie jumps or like takes off as a pigeon, but shifts into an actual superhero that is flying above the building in question.
a superhero.
There's probably some small child that sees it.
What?
Pigeon.
What do you mean a superhero that's flying above the buildings?
Well, she doesn't want to be like, she would try not to shift in front of a giant window, basically.
What's she shifting into?
Herself.
Yeah, you know.
With
She can't
wings.
fly.
Sylvie can fly.
It's in the book.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, outsider gets flight and super strength, I believe, as a default.
No, does she? I don't know
Does
about the
she?
super strength, but the light is there.
I don't know.
Okay, yeah. Abilities you can fly and you're pretty tough. Well, I'm just so used to you being animals that I'm like, we have never done this before.
yeah, we're all just freaking out. Who knew Sylvie could fly without wings?
I feel like Elena
think it-
probably did.
I don't think it's been addressed since the first episode. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're probably
Probably
their
not.
flight buddies.
Cynthia is basically immediately trying to mentally connect to Joe.
Yeah.
Earthquake,
The
can you get
reverse
out
shaking
right now?
everywhere.
Or do you need help?
What's my situation, Charlie?
I mean, there's an earthquake going on, so tables are rattling, glasses are probably falling over. One of the servers probably drops a tray of food to grab onto the nearest like solid structure, but does not seem like the building is of imminent danger of collapsing around you.
Also, your wine is all over again.
Yeah,
Yep.
there's
All
just
over.
everywhere.
We're
Everyone.
just
You're gonna have to
gonna
buy new
So
clothes.
much
these
red wine
suits
on
off
you.
at this point. These clothes are just ruined.
Yeah. There's no hope.
We're okay for the time being. I like having to do micro crunches to do that.
Sylvie and I, and she kind of looks at Sylvie to confirm, are gonna go check this out.
Sylvie nods and kind of is already drifting in that direction as she's waiting.
Okay, I'll catch up.
Stay in contact. Be ready to evacuate the building if necessary.
Yeah.
Do you have? You hear this is all mental though. Do you have your mask?
Yes. I'm gonna stop doing that because I'm starting to hurt myself.
Please don't hurt yourself.
Yeah, please don't.
Okay.
Not even for the sake of comedy.
I'm sorry, but I can't commit to the bit hard enough to break my spine.
Please don't hurt
Please
yourself.
don't.
Keep us updated, as she's gonna say, and then she's probably gonna radio out to Roxy and Elena to see how far out this thing goes. She doesn't know where they are right now, I don't think. Not
No.
exactly.
You knew that they were
Elena doesn't even know where they are.
actually.
Yes.
Roxy did not tell Elena where they were going.
Actually, I think Cynthia left before.
Yeah,
everyone
Cynthia
established where
wouldn't
they
know
were
they'd
going, so
left the
Cynthia doesn't know
base.
at all. Yeah, you can radio out to them. The two of you do like you're feeling the earthquake.
Yep.
You hear Cynthia come through. What did she say?
Do you guys feel the earthquake where you are?
Yeah.
So it reaches the base at least. That's well.
We're not at the base.
Oh, we're not at the base. We've I've went and found
Goodbye.
Rampage.
We're in the warehouse district.
Putting a pin in that one. This thing reaches the warehouse. Buddy, come on. That's not for you. Jesus.
Captain. Bye, Captain.
He's very wriggly.
Chaos cat.
Okay, can you get downtown?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna Valkyrie and I are gonna try to find the epicenter of this.
Okay. That sounds like a good plan.
See you there. She hangs
See you
up.
there.
Bye.
So Elena, it's probably safest if we fly, but I also
I'm
don't
not
want to
sick.
leave the motorcycle. So what if we fly on the motorcycle? That'd
Yeah,
be
we
so
can do
badass.
that.
Yeah, let's do that. It was so badass.
Alright,
So
so we're
we're-
gonna ending of Grease this.
Yeah.
So
I
you
always
can get
knew
on-
it was coming.
We always knew there was going to be floating motorcycles.
So you can get on Betty Crocker and start floating towards downtown where the epicenter of this earthquake is. Is Joe going to leave and change right away and head downtown, or what's he doing?
Well, technically with someone who doesn't know about the watchdog thing yet. Well, I think he'll default to what he's been defaulting to when he can't just disappear and change, which is try to do some crowd control as a normal civilian. So, if the building isn't actively crumbling, they'll just, like, shout earthquake advice to people. Whatever little he might know, because I don't think this area gets earthquakes normally.
Yeah, I think you're probably just largely talking out of your ass at this point. But sure,
And
we can.
Joe, like, 40% of the time he's been in this
Be all gung ho and take charge about it. While Valkyrie and Echo head downtown towards the epicenter of this. And as you are flying in that direction, the rumbles get worse, and below you on the street, you see, not coming from downtown, coming from like a different part of the city, something fast speeds along the road underneath you and takes a sharp turn downtown.
Okay.
No.
And I think at that moment you hear the sound, like you heard some pretty concerning like metal crinking and crunching sounds earlier, but this is much worse. And you watch as a very tall building starts to tip over. and is coming down. Because I am here for the drama.
No.
Uh-oh.
Can we
Joe.
all see it? Oh no, Joe.
Oh no!
Your senses are kind of tuned to some specific people. And you hear the faint sound of Henry's voice shout, "Run!"
Meh?
Oh, okay.
fully like confused dog moment, just like whips around to the sound of her voice, like, what the what's she doing here?
It is outside this building. You can tell it's coming from like central downtown. And sort of expanding your senses, you tell that something is breaking. Something heavy is breaking, and it is coming down.
Cynthia's gonna try to stop or slow the building telekinetically.
Go ahead and roll to unleash your powers.
Yeah, that's fair.
As you come around this corner and see a... Actually, I won't tell you what you see. You're kind of focused on this building, so...
Yeah, that's fair, that's fair. It's plus freak?
I believe
Yeah, freak.
so. Yes.
It's not terrible. My freak's +1, which makes this 11, which is weird to get twice in a row, but sure.
All right. Describe how you do this. Like, what do you look like as you whip around this corner and see this building coming down?
This is usually the kind of thing that Echo will ask Easy Living to do, because this is more her area.
It's true.
But it's not impossible. She's seen Hecate do things like this before, so the power set can be used for it. She kind of just like glances at Valkyrie first, just because she's a little worried, but sticks her hands out and kind of just like tries to focus on actually keeping this thing from falling for as long as she can. Cape's kind of billowing in the wind. It looks like there's tension in every bit of her body, because this is a lot.
Okay. Valkyrie, what are you doing?
If Echo's trying to stopping the building, Valkyrie's going to try and get as many civilians out of immediate danger as possible, seeing as she hasn't seen Echo hold a building this or anything this big for any amount of time, let alone.
It's fair.
Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead and roll to defend.
I like this one out. Oh, yes. I do appreciate that one. So that would be a 10.
All right. So, would you like to add a team to the pool, take influence over someone you protect, or clear a condition?
Sylvia will start taking influence over people she's protecting.
Well, you get
We've
one
mentioned, yeah, as she's protecting, yeah.
So,
Well, specifically in regards to group things, I believe there's actually a special note on it in the book. Hang on. Does I remember something about this? Pierce the mask, comfort and support, provoke someone, assist a situation, defend someone, keeping them safe, expose yourself. Where's the influence?
Well,
taking influence over someone you protect means care about him. If you already
I'm
had
okay
influence-
if it's only one person. I just meant she's vaguely remembering that people had mentioned, hey, PR might be in our best interests at this point.
So sort of describing how this works, I'll say with the force of this building coming down and the initial like crunching of the different floors and Echo stopping it in midair, several of the windows blow out. So once again, we have rains of glass falling down on civilians. And Valkyrie can come in and start like grabbing people and moving out of the way. But as you're doing this, there is another presence moving through this crowd at a speed so fast you can hardly register. And they are also getting civilians out of the way of this building. But they're able to move much faster than you are. And Sylvie, go ahead and roll to assess the situation. I have a very specific thing in mind for like what you're finding out here.
That is a 5, so no.
Okay.
Wait. No, it's an 8, actually.
Oh.
I forgot that I'm using superior. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. So you, as you're going to grab someone else and pull them out of this crowd, you spot someone who's also trying to do crowd control, but at a much slower pace, Henry. And you spot her for a second, and then a split second later, she's gone.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what you notice. Is Joe still doing crowd control in the restaurant?
No. Upon hearing Henry, he sort of looks at Tony and Roxy. Do they look relatively secure?
For now. This building isn't seemingly coming down, so they are not in any extreme danger at the moment.
Okay. Joe looks at Tony and just says, I need to handle something. I'll be back.
Yeah, I got it. Just go.
And Joe will make for whatever emergency staircase there is.
Mhm.
And I kind of have this like image in my head of he vaults, and as he vaults, he transforms and like uses werewolf agility to just like zip down to the bottom, not even taking the stairs.
Are you vaulting after you get in the staircase or in the middle of this restaurant?
After the staircase, like after he's
Okay.
out of line of sight.
Definitely turn into
Okay.
a werewolf in the middle of
Yeah,
the
please do
hoity-toity
that. No.
restaurant
Mhm.
because I
Please
think
do
that will help the panicking crowd.
Okay. You can burst out of this emergency stairwell and get through the front doors of the restaurant. You're not very far from downtown, so you can take off in that direction and probably encounter like several people who are running away from the scene, but with your agility you can easily like dodge around them.
Yeah, and as I'm going, like pieces of tuxedo just fly off and the mask comes on.
Okay. Just a little trail of fabric behind you.
Yep.
And I'll say as you get around the corner to this central square, frantically looking around after hearing Henry's voice, you spot once again someone moving at superhuman speed. A little easier for you to clock because of your heightened senses, but still pretty difficult to make out who they are. They skid to a stop. Honestly, probably a few feet away from you.
That's what Joe does.
Yeah, this is what Joe does.
Come
here.
Thank you, Precious, for the sound effects.
They probably
We should pay Precious more.
skid to a stop.
We pay her
already,
Doritos.
He's our primary shareholder.
Yes.
She's already a freeloader. Come on.
Like I said, primary shareholder.
They skid to a stop maybe 5-6 feet away from you on the opposite sidewalk. And you see this individual very much wearing a piecemeal costume. Reminds you of your early days as a superhero. And in his arms he's holding Henry. She kind of has like her hands on his shoulders and is curled in a little bit as they come to a stop, and moves to, I guess, how does Joe initially react to this?
It's just kind of a moment of like, oh. Because like he was expecting Henry, he wasn't expecting Henry. Like I genuinely cannot describe just the emotional turmoil that Joe is going through constantly lately. But I definitely think he like zeroes in sensory wise, just like making sure, is she okay?
Her heart's pounding, but other than that.
And then who the hell is this guy? Sort of like look at him a bit closer.
You squint and look at him, and he's got like a bandana with some eye holes cut out, just covering his face. Wearing some ratty like tracksuit bottoms and a hoodie, sneakers. And he like gently sets Henry on her feet and is just like, "You okay?" Just like, yeah. And he just nods and starts to turn away. Probably catches sight of you just like standing there. He gives you a little like 2-fingered salute and takes off back into the crowd. And I think
you're in trouble.
And I think probably following his gesture, Henry looks over and spots you and is just like, she will and then there's probably another like big crash. She's like, I should go, and turns and starts running away.
Yeah, Joe probably shouts somewhat, like starts as like shouting to her, but then like shouts to the crowd like, it's clear away from downtown. Starts like directing people away from wherever the epicenter of this is. And I imagine you can see the building falling.
Oh yeah, you see this building very precariously being held up as Echo is just like every muscle straining in the air. And you can also see Valkyrie, who is helping with the crowd control as well.
And I'm gonna guess Speedy is headed right towards it.
The building?
Yeah.
Not immediately. He's making sure that there aren't any other civilians who might be hiding in dangerous places and need to get out of here.
All right. Joe is gonna start hustling towards the building, trying to see if anybody's like stuck or needs protection before this thing comes down. And he will, as he runs, grab his communicator. Watchdog Valkyrie.
Valkyrie will pick up hers and respond like, what's going on, Watchdog?
We got a rookie. He's trying to help, but he's in a starter costume.
Odd.
You were wearing your
I think I've seen
jacket as a
him.
werewolf.
Yeah. I'll keep an eye out, but
yeah,
if he's getting people out,
He is, but keep an
that's
eye
what
out.
we need.
He seems green.
Oh.
While that is going on, I'll say Elena and
Flying
Roxy
motorcycle
are, you
comes through the air.
you'll probably arch over one of the nearby buildings and get an aerial view of this situation. And you probably,
Oh shit!
having like more of an upward view, get a sense of what's going on and can see there's an individual closer towards the center of the square who picks up a giant piece of rock and hurls it towards Echo. Echo, I would like you to roll to take a powerful blow.
Yeah, that tracks. Okay, so it's just a straight dice roll, no additives.
You add conditions.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't have any.
Okay.
Hooray.
We're at a 6.
Can we add a team? Do we? You
What-
want
what-
low, right?
Yeah, you want low. Would you roll
You
a
want
6?
low.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
You rolled a 6?
Yeah.
You want low for take a
Okay.
powerful
Yeah. You
blow.
want
Oh,
low. Never
yeah.
mind. No
Yeah.
team
Okay.
adding.
So on a
No,
miss,
don't
you
add
stand
team.
strong.
I had team to knock Echo
Mark-
out.
Mark potential.
1 sec, let me. I actually
Potential
did
can
not
be
lose
had,
my
so
pencil for
obviously
once.
Echo gets some.
And I would like you to explain what Echo does as this huge chunk of asphalt just slams into the side of her, sending bits of rock and concrete flying.
I think that like what she manages to do is at the very last second she kind of visualizes the way that Sarah does shields and kind of tries to manifest that, and it's not perfect. I think some of the shards probably get through and like tear through the costume a little. She's going to be possibly stitching herself up later if she doesn't get healing, but the bigger parts of it smash against the telekinetic shield and kind of like go around it in like a bit of an explosion.
Okay.
Hard immovable object meets I'm forgetting the rest of the phrase.
Unstoppable force versus
It's an
immovable.
unstoppable force and a movable object. Yeah.
There's a
Okay.
tiny rock
So
explosion.
Roxy and Elena get that visual as they come around the corner, and you just see this, like, from your perspective, really tiny, I mean, probably a normal sized person, but they look super tiny, just like across this square.
Hurling stuff. Okay. All right, Elena. Can you? How far are they? Could I like try to like trajectory like jump myself that way if Elena like reduces my gravity and like
We
fall?
also have
Like,
a bike.
That's true.
Throw
I
the
was
bike at
sort
them.
of wondering if you wanted to help Echo with like holding up
Mhm.
buildings, but maybe if you don't want to, that's okay too. You know, I you know better about this stuff, but like if you can launch me towards that person, that'd be cool. Or if I can ride my bike over there and then you can reduce my gravity. Maybe not on the bike though, because I don't really want that on the floor while things are falling and stuff.
I don't think there is any safe place for the bike right now. We're gonna
Maybe
have to just.
Maybe it can just float
Accept
here
it.
for a hot second.
I don't know if I can keep track of a floating bike on. the building.
Whatever. Just if you want to put it on the ground, put it on the ground. We'll deal with that out. Like it sucks if it breaks, but there are more important things in this world than the bike. I can fix it. It's fine.
What are you doing?
I'm gonna.
Ooh, just
We're on-
launch me and the
Yeah,
bike.
we're on the
and then I'll-
bike. I'm gonna launch Roxy and the bike and go fly over to Echo.
Okay.
Vroom vroom. Here we go.
Wee.
Roxy's gonna try to like use the momentum to like flip over so she takes the damage instead of the bike.
Oh my
So
god.
dumb.
You know, just for that, roll to take a powerful blow.
Classic Roxy.
It's valid. It's
I love
valid.
it.
Oh fuck!
As you
I
land nearby this
have hurt
individual.
myself with my own bike.
What did you
What'd
roll?
you get?
13.
Oh no.
So choose one.
Well,
Let's see on this lovely list of things. All right. I'm gonna
Immediately
say
choose. You must remove yourself and just pass out from trying to catch the bike.
pass out under the bike.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give I'm gonna choose 2 from the 7 to 9.
Okay.
And I'm going to well, no, I don't want to do that because I don't want to yell at my friends. That's mean. And I don't need any more conditions because that's so I'm gonna say that I lose control of myself or powers in a terrible way.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Like
another
I
ability.
panic and you can make something random happen now.
Great.
Great.
I love
Using
this.
my mind of their own.
You
Okay.
you land on the concrete probably 20 feet from this individual and just you're not used to flying through the air like this and
No.
avoiding causing collateral damage, so
No, I am
you
the collateral
sink
damage.
about 3 feet through the asphalt and you send
Fuck.
giant like cracks, like spiderweb cracks moving away from you across the ground and over to the buildings on either side of the street as
Oh,
the cracks
fuck.
travel up the sides of the buildings and they start coming down.
Elena! Or
God.
I cause problems.
So yeah. Joe, Sylvie, you're actually Watchdog, you definitely hear screams from people inside these buildings. Sylvie, you can probably hazard a guess that there's probably
Yeah,
not a
Sylvia's
good thing.
going up and trying to get people out of buildings
Okay.
as much as possible.
If both of you are going to be intervening there, I'd like you to roll defend.
Oh no.
As you also see the speedy individual coming
Zippy.
into
Our zippy
go into the
friend.
buildings and help out.
Speedy, he's gonna get his wings.
Yeah.
That's an 11 from me.
We should
All
give him
right,
some wings,
and-
tennis shoes. You know, that would
You
be
get
fun.
to
Okay.
pick one, Sylvie.
Yeah.
Oh,
I got an 8.
All right. It costs you expose yourself to danger or escalate the situation. Which would you like to do?
Escalate the situation.
Expose myself to danger. And I do believe I get to pick one, right?
Sylvia's just going
Yes.
to keep on taking influence over people as she can.
Okay.
I think Joe will as well. Take influence over someone you protect.
Okay. And you said you were exposing yourself to danger, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So as you head into these buildings to try and clear out any civilians who might be inside and in danger of being crushed by floors collapsing, you come out and hear this roar from the person who's been responsible for this chaos up to this point, and look over and see a figure not wearing a shirt, wearing ripped shorts, and it looks like his body is made of stone, and he just hurls another piece of concrete in your direction. I'd like you to roll to take a powerful blow.
Oh, okay, so this is the person doing this. I thought you were
Mhm.
describing like another person who had just popped up, and I'm like,
No,
the junior hero. So
this is the one who threw another piece of concrete at Echo.
Gotcha. Okay, so rocket. Taking a powerful blow. I've got one condition, so we get. Okay, I got a 6.
All right.
And hey, that's my fifth
Advancement?
potential.
So describe what you do as this large chunk of rock heads in your direction.
Okay. So I'm like getting people out of the building, right?
Yep.
If I may edit your description slightly, I feel like this guy maybe like winds back with the throw and almost kind of accidentally does a football pose, and Joe fully just like clicks. Like his brain just clicks into what he needs to do. And as he's like pushing one person free of the rubble, he like a shot just closes the distance and just tackles this guy directly in the face.
Okay. So you tackle him as he brings this chunk of rock down on your back, but it just crumbles to dust in his grip as you knock him knock him to the ground, which does maybe some superficial damage, but
Yeah.
nothing else. Okay, so that is going on. What is Echo's next move? And Easy Living. Is Easy Living helping Echo?
If Roxy is safe, yeah.
Okay.
You
If
just
not-
see a hand come out of the hole that just has a thumbs up, like
Just like the Terminator as he's sinking in the lava.
Okay. So Easy Living
Love
can
it.
fly over to Echo after, I'd assume you're still trying to clear your head a little bit after this large chunk of rock just slammed into you.
Echo's going through it. One building I think is within the very limits of her current capabilities, but you said 2 more were falling?
Yes.
In addition to this one?
Roxy caused enough like structural damage to the ground that it traveled and made 2 additional buildings unsafe.
Yeah,
So
Echo
Valkyrie and
can't do
Watchdog are clearing those
3.
out.
So if Easy Living is helping, Echo is going to, with a very strained voice, ask her to take care of the 2 buildings that Echo doesn't currently have, if she can. She knows it's a big ask.
Yeah, she'll divert to the 2 buildings and try and keep them up.
I'm
Okay.
like,
Or
picturing
I
them
guess
as
in the
being,
air.
like- I'm picturing them being like back to back, just
Uh-huh.
trying to levitate.
Doing
things.
the
Yeah.
Scarlet Witch thingy.
Yeah.
So we know you've done 1 building before.
I've never done 2 buildings.
2 buildings. Consciously. Go ahead and roll
That's
2.
true.
Unleash your powers.
What is my? I have -2 to stand defensive. It's fine. As long as nobody throws anything at me, I'll be fine. 6 plus freak is a 9.
All right. Would you like to mark a
They're
condition?
away.
Or
I
Can
can
I
help.
add a team? And Sylvie, how
How
far
would-
have our plants spread through the tunnels?
Not that far.
Can Echo
I'm gonna
help
have to
via
start
moral
planting the
support? Like, she's back to back with her girlfriend, and they're both struggling to keep this up. So I'm thinking something
You
just
also
like
have the moral support cat.
I do have
What?
moral
That's
support
true.
cat. This is true.
What are you going to say to Elena?
Can Freya just
Well, Easy Living.
throw people out of the buildings?
She's just gonna. If she had a hand free, she would go to hold her hand, but she does not. So I think she kind of just like taps Easy Living a bit with her
With her foot.
Yeah, with her foot.
To
Big
like
link
the
foots.
leg lock thing.
They-
Mhm.
Sorry.
And she says, I know it's hard, but it has to be done. I know you doubt yourself, but you can save this city. You will. We can together. So just focus with me, here and now, on this.
Okay.
Why do I get the impression that because both of you are going like all out, there is just like this pressure in the air?
Oh, yeah.
It
Ears are
depends on
popping.
how gravity displacement works.
So we can remove a team from the pool, and you can raise that up to a 10.
Yay!
So you managed to hold up these 2 crumbling buildings as Valkyrie, Watchdog, and Speedy person, boy, evacuate them.
Zipper.
Their name's just Speedy.
I like
No,
Speedy
no.
Boy
You haven't asked.
specifically.
So Roxy, you are, well, Calamity, you're crawling
I'm
out
in a
of this
hole.
hole.
Yeah. I set Betty Crockett down gently in the hole.
Okay.
And then I say, be safe, sweetheart. And then I jump out of the hole, and I'm pissed now. I'm a little bit angry. I'm just saying that, like, this fucking guy, what the fuck? I don't got time for this shit. Ain't nobody got time for this. So
Right.
she's walking just angrily in a huff, and Joe is tackling her.
Joe has him on the ground.
Or okay, so Watchdog's got him, and she's just kind of like huffing and puffing because she's so annoyed that she didn't do a good superhero landing, and she's like, I really gotta work on that superhero landing shit. And like,
Okay.
and she's like, she looks over and like, does it look like Watchdog has the situation under control with her? Or
Watchdog just got there.
Yeah.
He just has been knocked to the ground. It's difficult to tell whether
do you need
it's
help,
temporarily or
Watchdog, or should I help evacuate people?
Help evacuate. I got this bozo.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
All right, well, scream if you need help.
Yep.
Or howl, or whatever you do.
Wait, what?
If you howl, I'll know it's you.
Yeah.
All right. Roxy's actually, well, the buildings are stable, right? Like Elena
now.
has stabilized them.
Yep.
Are they tipped still, or they
they're both kind of like slanted in slightly.
are they
It's
leaning?
not like yeah, they're leaning. It's not they're not like being held up horizontally though. So you can still get
Is
through the door
the-
and get inside.
Does it look like there's a way that Roxy could try to tip it right? Like, so that they're not leaning anymore? Like, she's trying to do physics now, and
Probably
she's got a
not,
constipated look on her face.
From Roxy's landing, the entire side of the building is cracked. So it's not just the foundation, it's the entire like front face of the building is cracked.
All right, well, here we go. She's just gonna follow and run into the building and start looking for people.
Okay. I will say that since the buildings are currently being held up by easy living, there's no immediate threat, so you can move in and find people and get them out without needing to roll to defend anyone. So
Yeah, she's doing get them, jump out the window with them in her arms types of move.
okay.
You know.
As you're moving through, you probably see Speedy, moving past and grabbing people and getting them out of there as well.
And she will give him a wave. Hi.
He slows down enough and will give
Thanks
you
for your
like
help.
a little thumbs up and and just say happy to help.
All right.
Take off again. So you're doing that. Watchdog. Because Valkyrie is also helping get people out of there.
Yep.
It's gonna be a little bit to clear out both those buildings. What's Watchdog doing?
Okay.
Well, few things here. First of all, if you would allow me, I would like to go ahead and switch on Game Face here. When you commit yourself to save someone or defeat a terrible enemy, mark a condition and take +1 ongoing. I think I will go ahead and mark Angry. Because
Okay.
the more Joe is thinking about it, the more he's kind of pissed that his girlfriend was in danger and it was some random kid who got to save her instead of him.
Was it a kid though?
We didn't
As far
get a
as Joe's
specific age.
concerned.
As far as Joe's concerned.
Could
Didn't
be a
look like a
40-year,
kid to
it could be
Roxy.
a 40-year-old
Yeah,
man.
no.
Joe wouldn't care.
But fact of the matter is, he's had a very stressful few days.
Uh-huh.
And breaking someone's face feels like a good stress reliever.
I like this dark side of Joe that's coming out.
And I was about to say, he's probably gonna let up the reins a little bit on the instincts. And if
This
you'll
is
allow
gonna
me,
go
I
on
would
for
like
so
to then
long.
trigger
He's
the
gonna
mask.
kill someone, and we're gonna be like, "Oh fuck!"
I would like to then
Oh.
trigger the mask and switch my mundane and my danger.
Ooh.
Okay.
All right, Danger Dog. Deputy
Danger,
Danger,
danger.
Dog has arrived.
Oh my god.
So you're affirming your heroic identity?
Mm-hmm. Because the Watchdog identity thus far is kind of a ruthless brawler.
Okay.
So it's time for a little of that.
All right. Let's go.
And I feel like Joe will assume a combat stance and let this guy stand up.
Yeah, just very like and pushes himself to his feet. Again, like after and even kind of based on his appearance, but now that you've like hit him, definitely seems like his body's made of stone.
Huh.
He's a stoner.
What's
Mhm.
up? Name's Watchdog. Let me guess. It's Rocky? No, hang on. I bet I can guess it. Boulders for brains.
I feel like
Oh,
this is a debuff.
Are
to
you
danger.
trying to provoke someone here?
yes.
What are you trying to get him to do?
Focus on me and not damage the city anymore.
All right. Roll plus superior.
All right. So, since I've got game face, I get a +1 to that. Plus my superior is at +1. Yep, so I get +2 overall to this. Sorry, I have to shuffle my desk a bit here.
Danger dog.
All right, that is a total of 10.
All right. Erase the bait and do what you want. So again, he lets out a couple more like heaving breaths and growls and just charges. And will like lower his shoulder and probably similar to like a football tackle. Will just
Mhm.
get you straight in the gut. So go ahead and roll to take a powerful blow.
All right. +2 now. That's a hit with a 9.
All right.
Can we
choose
add a
one.
team? No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, if you want.
Just makes it a worse hit.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I think for the time being, Joe will just struggle past the pain.
What 2 conditions are you gonna mark?
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
What do you have marked, Karen?
I have angry and insecure marked. I will mark guilty and hopeless because I do not want -2 to engage a threat right now.
Okay.
That one hurt.
He gets his shoulder into your stomach and just like picks you up and slams you into the ground. The road is already pretty damaged, but you definitely feel it crack underneath you as you sink a few inches into the ground.
Oh, what's the matter? I touch a nerve? Figured he wouldn't have any.
He's got nerves of stone.
Okay, I'll say Calamity and Valkyrie along with Speedy Boy can get those buildings cleared out and fully evacuated. So what are the 2 of you going to do now?
I'm going to enlist Speedy for some help. I think everybody's been equipped with the cuffs in case of Roxy detonation or activation, whatever.
Elena has a stun gun on her for you. No
yeah,
telling what it'll do to Rockman, but you know she has a stun gun.
and I think everybody. I mean, I assume. I guess I should ask Bree if Cynthia would have like equipped everybody with cuffs just in case Roxy goes.
I think at this point, yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably become part of the standard arsenal because we have to cuff people pretty often. But it comes with the caveat, do not lose this. If you do lose this, you need to tell me because damage control.
if you lose this, we have to steal it back.
We
from
need to
whoever
start
lost
having-
it.
Too bad we don't have trackers on them. I don't think it's GPS is invented yet.
Mm-mm.
No. I don't really think there's satellites yet.
No. Well, if they are, they're super secret government ones, so.
Anyway.
Anyways, so she'll be like, all right, so you're super fast, that's super cool. I'm super strong. I can go in as a distraction, and we have these awesome magical cuffs that stop people's powers. So if you could super fast go put this on one of that guy's like arms while I'm like over there distracting and wrestling him, maybe, and Sylvie can help distract and wrestle him. Maybe pheromones will work. I
was
don't
about
know.
to say, we want
Let's-
to pheromone this guy.
Let's cheer. Maybe.
Does he
I
need
don't
to
know.
breathe? He's made of
I
glass.
don't know, but it's also
But we can find out.
a very intrinsically human reaction to breathe. So even if he doesn't have to, does that mean he's stopped breathing?
That's a good point. I'm not even sure if I need to breathe, but we'll find out.
Okay.
I'm sure someday. What was your name though?
Also, Sylvie will tell Speedy not to take deep breaths when she activates.
Oh yeah,
the
you might
power.
want to hold your
Hold
breath
your
when
breath.
you're over there, because
Got it. Not.
she's gonna put off some potent fumes.
All right.
And
Running and breathing kind of go hand in hand, but we'll give it a shot. Sure. As far as my name, Senior Supersonic.
nice to meet you. I'm Calamity.
I know.
Valkyrie, and then she immediately starts going up forward with Calamity's plan.
All right.
Okay. You can pass off the-
Calamity takes a couple of deep breaths before pheromone, and then rushes in to assist Watchdog while saying she's about to do the thing. Watchdog.
So who, between Calamity and Valkyrie, who's going to act first?
I think I would, and then
the pheromones kick in?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Then Roxy, I would like you to roll to directly engage a threat
All right.
first.
And that's plus danger. So that puts me at 11.
Okay, pick 2.
Two. Okay. I'm going to pick resist and avoid their blows.
Okay.
And I'm going to create an opportunity for allies by trying to bear hold. I'm gonna say, just because I want to be a smartass, like, why don't you pick on somebody your own size? As
You're
she's
tiny.
probably much smaller than this guy.
I
Oh,
love this.
three
And then
Gold.
goes to try to put him in like a headlock or, just, I don't know, use her body to.
I'm just imagining like you grapple him around his midsection and then like suplex backward and slam him upside down into the ground.
Like a wrestler move. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So do that, and he's kind of stunned for the moment. While you get him in place. Let's see. I'll say this opportunity probably goes to Watchdog because you're basically pulling someone off him, so he has a second to act. But yeah, we can do that first. We can resolve Watchdog, since that's kind of like split second, and then Valkyrie can get those pheromones going. So what's Watchdog doing?
I feel like Watchdog feels him like starting to get lifted up by Calamity, and he just like digs his claws in and just like comes with the guy as he suplexed.
I pick both of these dudes up who are like twice my size
and just rip into him as he's getting suplexed.
All right, go ahead and roll to directly engage the threat.
This is an amazing visual in my mind.
So this is going to be at a +4.
While Senior Supersonic is just like bouncing on his toes on the sidelines, waiting for that opportunity to come in and get those cuffs on.
That's a 10.
Okay, pick 2.
We will resist and avoid.
Okay.
And we'll go ahead and go with impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition.
Okay. Let's see. We'll go with that one. Alrighty. So now we have 2 of the team just wailing on this guy. Valkyrie, you can
beat him up.
Get him.
What effect are you trying to have with your pheromones? Is it like just trying to cut off oxygen flow, or is it trying to like mellow him out or do something else?
It's fully distract him and get his focus.
Kinda
Not on anything but the city and the escaping
Okay.
civilians.
I feel like it would that in this case, since tensions are already so high, releasing pheromones that would kind of like agitate and infuriate him to where he locks onto you and like will progress like aggressively in your direction.
Mhm.
So go ahead and roll to directly engage threat.
This is not going to be great because I am afraid.
Just roll high.
Yeah,
Just
no,
roll high.
that was not high.
Mm.
Oh,
What'd you get?
what'd you get?
That was a 1 with what I
Oh,
with my.
Ooh.
oh,
I was gonna say we could spend some team and try to help you
No,
out, but I
no.
don't.
we
That's-
don't.
They're not enough.
Nope.
We
I
cannot
was,
do
I
that.
was like, do
Give
not.
her
Um,
16.
Actually, hang on. Okay, so we've got me, and Speedy. We could get you up to a 6 with who we know is there. I don't know if Freya could help with this. I don't know what bonuses.
Freya
she's
is
got
not
for you.
focused.
Freya is on
to
Echo.
threats.
Yeah. Okay. So
So you
Freya
release
can just meow.
a wave
menacingly,
of
though.
pheromones, but it just doesn't seem to
take.
have any effect on this, like basically this cat fight that's going on in the middle of
Cat
this
fight.
this square. Yes.
hello,
the
watch.
wolf, the
You say the
wolf
name.
actually
Ah.
resents that. Hagon?
Coyote.
Coyote fight.
Coyote fight. Nah, no. Okay, so you just hear the sounds of cats clawing and screeching at each other.
It's one
Blondie,
thing for the
Blondie, this is
disrespect
your
to become
time.
in character.
What are Echo and Easy
Blondie, you're supposed to make noise.
Easy Living, you probably know that the buildings that you're holding up have been evacuated at this point. So what are the two of you doing?
Put them upright as carefully as possible, and or we just drop them and go.
I mean,
Or
if you
Is the one that Echo's holding also evacuated?
yes.
yeah.
Theoretically, at least two of these are probably close to each other, so we could try to direct them to fall in a way where they sort of lean together, and it's
Mhm.
going to cause some damage, but not as much as it would otherwise.
If we just dropped them and they go, yeah.
Just drop them on people.
Bro, man.
Just drop them on
you
top of the rest
just
of the
like-
team. They'll probably be fine.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
just
Totally
we'll
fine.
just connect them.
Eiffel Tower.
People.
Yeah, we'll Eiffel Tower them.
Eiffel Towers.
Cynthia's having a thought that at some point they should see if Elaine could get to the point of being able to like hyper compress things to stop, because that would be a way to solve the issue as well. But
That's
it would
what
damage
I wanna
everything
find
inside and
out.
destroy it.
They'd have to
Oh,
rebuild
okay.
the
Do that.
entire building.
I mean, I'm probably gonna have you roll to unleash your powers either way.
It's fine. I want to
so-
try once they are touching each other. I want to try and compress them. I guess
Like
I'd
the
be making
smallest
them.
cube
Okay.
ever.
I don't know anything about physics,
Roll to
so
unleash your
I'm
powers.
just gonna try and make them as dense as possible. Would be my guess.
Okay.
I did not take physics in high school. Oh shit! I dropped a die. Oh well, that's
Need
gone
those.
forever.
Oh, no.
I have more. I gotta
Did
find
the
it
dog
before.
eat
That
it?
one will just it's
No,
lost
Blondie
the
will
abyss.
just like smack it
Yeah.
around. The dogs don't bother him because they don't smell
My
like food.
cats do too. My cat used
Okay.
to run around with a
Ooh.
D20 in his mouth when he was a tiny kitten.
13.
It was so cute.
Yes. Okay.
So we'll say one of the big
guy. Who needs
the
to
biggest
know
building
about
which
physics?
Echo had been holding up, mostly glass facade, is being leaned up against one of these smaller buildings that is more like a mixture of glass and stone, which has a giant crack up the side and in the foundations. You can lean these two buildings against each other. Please. What does it look like as they just get crushed into a ball of stuff?
I'm sure some rubble kind of like scatters down from the initial squish.
Crunchage.
Yeah, just some
A minor
rocks and-
implosion effect. Of
yeah,
like
a minor
some
implosion,
metal
and then
and
some
glass
bits
going
are gonna
outwards.
come down,
Mm-hmm.
and it just has like a little star shape up there now, like the little thing. It's just smushed together with bits sticking out at every which angle.
Okay. So it's just this
Cool.
like spiny little pile of compressed rubble.
But it's
Like a-
it's stable up there. That's what
I
matters.
mean, it's probably not tall anymore. It's more of like half the size it was.
That's fine.
But it's on the ground. Not threatening to fall over.
Yeah, that's the point. It's stable enough to not squish us.
And in doing that, you still have a hand on the other one that was across the street. The other building.
Just throw it. No.
I'm here for this.
No.
Space with you.
Decrease gravity until it goes into the sun.
This will be
Launch
the
it.
first man-made satellite around her.
And now it's back from outer space.
She's
No.
just gonna try and mush that one in there too. Just lift it higher, bring it over, and
Definitely
just
going to
mush
demolition.
it.
You rolled a 13, sure. You can just like lift that other building and like hover
Just
it over
attach
and,
it.
and
Do they do like a yin yang as they meet in the air, just like
sure, why not?
Yeah.
So that's kind of what Easy Living is focused on. Echo, I'd say you were focused on the big building, but then as Easy Living took over, that kind of let you release your powers. So what are you doing?
Should probably take a second or two to see if Easy Living needs any help with this or wants any help with this.
I think I'm fine. I think I got this.
Okay. And then she's going to take a moment to, if I may, I'd like to try and assess the situation to see what's
Sure.
going on broadly in the area.
Yeah,
Chaos.
sure.
Like,
take
yes.
a moment to breathe and figure out what the hell has been going on while I've
Roxy's
been focusing on
got-
holding up this
got-
building.
This Rockman and Joe and suplexing like it's
A rock band.
And there's some half-hearted pheromones and a guy who's running really fast.
a rock band.
Okay, so 7 plus 3 for my superior is a 10.
Okay. You get to ask 2. Unless you just want me to describe the general.
Let me reread
Scene.
the questions first.
Sure.
Okay, I'm going to start with what here's in the greatest danger.
Ooh. Hmm. I mean, I would say the buildings, the general landscape from what you've seen, you'd probably be able to guess that whatever was causing the earthquakes and destruction was by the individual that everyone else is engaged with. So they have some serious firepower to just level the city.
Okay, that
Or
makes
the
sense.
city itself. We'll just say the city is in the greatest danger.
Okay, but there's nothing like immediate aside from this individual still
Right.
being conscious.
Not now that most of this
Okay.
area has been evacuated. If you want to reverse it, that's the stone guy is in the greatest danger. Because he's got only like 7 people against him.
He's in the danger zone.
Danger zone being liberally applied.
Okay, I'm going to go with how could we best end this quickly?
Get those cuffs that Senior Supersonic is holding on this individual.
Fair enough. Okay, could you re-describe who is where in relation to
Yeah.
the dude?
So Stone Guy, Watchdog,
Yeah.
and Roxy are all kind of in one big pile.
Mhm.
One
A
big,
dog
like-
pile, if you will.
Yep. Sylvie or Valkyrie is a little bit away, like focused on them, trying to, or just like from what you can tell, focused on this fight. Senior Supersonic is the opposite side of Sylvie. Looks like getting ready to go in on everyone else, and then Elena's or Easy Living is just right nearby after taking care of the buildings.
Okay. The group that are currently dealing with Stone Dude seem to have a handle on it. So I think what Echo's going to do is she's going to fly out over the place where she can get the best vantage point on this whole situation and keep a lookout for any new incoming threats or prepare to intercede if things go badly with the people currently dealing with that.
Okay. Sure. You can get over like the opposite side of this group and just keep an aerial view on things.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Calamity, a watchdog. Are you just focused on holding this person down, or are you gonna make any other moves?
Go ahead.
Watchdogs reckon his shit.
Calamity is actually, I mean, she just wants to hold him down. She's not like in a tizzy like
Just get him
Mr.
in
Taffley
a grapple
over
hold.
there. Yeah, she's just grappling, but she's like, who sent you? Pretty sus that the day that they want to register us, you cause a commotion. Who sent you?
I feel like in between each one of those questions is just Joe's furry mitt just coming by and swiping him across the face again.
Are you actually trying to
Pierce the mask.
cause damage, watchdog?
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I am, you could say,
Kind of.
trying to hurt someone.
Okay. Calamity, go ahead and roll to pierce the mask, and watchdog, go ahead and roll to directly engage threat.
It's another 10 from Wa.
Okay. Pick 2.
I already did impress, surprise, or frighten with this guy.
Mm-hmm.
I will resist or avoid again, and I will create an opportunity.
Okay. We'll say you probably like get a nice punch to the gut, which causes all the air to expel from his lungs and kind of leaves him paralyzed for a second. So he's motionless there. Calamity, what did you get for pierce the mask?
I got a 9. But I want to argue that I can use team because Joe is beating the crap out of him. So, like, from an intimidation standpoint, bad dog, good dog. I mean, bad cop, good cop.
I mean, I would say that Joe probably could chime in once he hears like Roxy talking.
She's sus. She feels sus. She's also kind of insecure right now because she says that condition, and I feel like she's a little paranoid that everything is related to the same thing, and it's the people that rewired her brain, and she's
Okay. So the thing I'm concerned about here is stacking too many things. Because since spending team very much feels like helping, I feel like you shouldn't be able to use a move and do that at the same time.
That's fair. That's
so
fair.
I think at this point
I just need one of you.
And
If we
Sylvie
want,
help
we can
in some way
retract.
in that situation. She's close, but I don't know if she's close enough to help.
You are trying to screw with his head with pheromones. So
I will allow it this time, at least in the future, now that we're kind of establishing this baseline. It'll be something that will need to be considered up front instead of
Okay.
trying to like shift it around between different characters. But
that's fair.
Since this was more of like, maybe we shouldn't stack too many things and then trying to figure out where else it could go, I will allow it.
Okay.
So you can, I don't know, throw out some guilty pheromones or something. Something to
Maybe like a little bit of
emotional turmoil.
Turmoil
Gas.
or encourage truthfulness.
You trust this
Yeah.
little strong girl implicitly.
All right. So that is a 10.
Yeah.
You can ask 3.
Okay, so what are you really planning?
Wants to go after the people who are trying to put this registry in place.
Why are you so sorry? That's not one of the questions I can ask. I was going to say, why are you being so stupid? How can I get your character to calm the fuck down and stop being counterproductive to
Say, how can I get you to calm down?
Get you to stop, yeah, basically to calm down and stop being counterproductive to what we should be doing when somebody has proposed that we're all so dangerous and we need to be on a list, and then you reinforce it by being dangerous.
Pull him out of his powers.
All right. I'm kind of torn between figuring out how to get him to get influence over him, or I want to know what he was intending to do with this. Like, Roxy's just kind of like, what the fuck was your logic with this?
Go after the people responsible. You're right by City Hall.
It's not helpful. All right. I believe that she's convinced at this point that he was not sent by anybody. But she is going to continue to whatever, help her friends hold him down or whatever.
At that moment, Senior Supersonic comes in and slaps the cuffs onto this individual. And you watch as the stone, it's not really a facade, but the stone covering his skin begins to fade and retract and reveal the person underneath.
Is it anybody I know?
It is not Roxy.
The speedster, did he get the cuffs from one of us, or did he just have those?
Roxy gave those to him.
Okay. I could not remember. Thank you.
Yeah, Roxy.
They had a
gave it to him.
whole side conversation.
Yeah, we had a
Okay.
little planning session while you guys
Echo
were
does not know
keeping
that.
things from.
But above the table,
Yes.
Roxy gave those to him.
Okay,
Because
Echo
was
does
busy
not
doing-
know this.
Right.
So-
Echo was
Is
off busy
there-
dealing with building stuff.
She's probably gonna yell at Rox or have a mini panic attack about it, but it's fine. We'll deal with that later. One
Charlie,
crisis at a
as
time.
this guy's stone facade is melting away and potentially revealing his identity, is there anything we can do to cover it up from like civilians who are nearby to protect
I mean,
his
if anyone
identity?
has like a jacket or an extra piece of cloth or something to just like
Yeah.
throw over him.
Leaves.
Sylvie doesn't.
We ripped some remnants
Leaves.
of Watch Dogs tuxedo that's hanging on his back, and we just
About to say, whatever undershirt he probably has is now just like a shred mess, so he can probably just like pull it right off.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just imagine Sylvie just grabbing a piece of it. While
Yeah.
he's like pummeling dude.
Okay.
I was about to say, there's definitely a moment where Joe almost like slashes into this guy when he's not covered in rocks and just like holds himself like
Yeah.
inches from his face.
I think Roxy looks at Joe in this moment and says, All right, that's enough.
Yeah, I think as your claws like come down, this guy's just like, "Ugh," and
That's
like,
enough,
tries to
my
squirm
friend.
away a little
I
bit.
think Sylvie also watches this and raises an eyebrow at Watchdog, like, are you
Judgmentally.
really going to do this after not being happy with me last time I did
Mhm.
something?
How dare
retributional?
you judge me and then do what I was.
As mentally, Joe is putting the instincts back in the box and not fully regretting laying them out because that felt good.
See, all of you do start to hear sirens in the distance. You can fashion a very poor face covering for this individual who's wearing these power dampening cuffs. Senior Supersonic is just kind of like shifting from foot to foot a little ways away from the group. What are you all doing?
Roxy's having a panicky moment of like, should we get him out of here and just like, because she feels a certain level of empathy for him because she does understand. She also wanted to throw heavy things at Councilman, but she didn't because that would be counterproductive to the goals that they have.
Do we let them be arrested, or do we just
I
whisk
think
them away to
Dell
the
is-
junkyard?
Sorry,
I
Van
was
Kirken.
gonna say, I feel like this is a junkyard moment.
Yeah,
but-
Valkyrie is
but we all need to
waving down
agree.
Echo.
Echo is going to descend, and I think given everything, she's probably sympathetic to this guy as well in getting him out of here, at least to decide things, because the people, her father doesn't need a
It's gonna
face to
be
be able to pin this on.
Good publicity
Yeah,
for
yeah,
the cause
yeah.
as well.
Yeah, that's also
Either way,
Roxy's
it's going to
is
be
like-
good publicity for him, but if he has a
Yeah.
face, she feels like it's going to be
A criminal
worse
to
for the rest of
charge.
them.
Yeah.
So she is going to 100% help with getting this guy the fuck out of here.
All right.
Just
The
cover
cuffs are
him-
staying on though.
Senior
Cover him-
Supersonic, could you help us get this man out of here really
Yeah,
fast?
just go fly him to
Maybe-
the junkyard. Oh well, she glow. Oh, it's winter. She's covered up now, and you'd still
Hmm.
see her in the sky.
But he's just like, sure.
Yeah, Schnell.
I
Where
feel
do you
like
want
we
him?
should do.
It's the
Just take
Totally
junkyard.
give him
Just
the,
take me to the junkyard. Yeah.
junkyard address and directions if he needs them.
Do we own that junkyard?
If you want
No,
to chill there
probably,
with him, I
maybe.
would love to talk to you afterwards. Introduce
It's sort of like a we will
myself.
meet you there,
have
but
an
you're
actual
faster than us
conversation.
situation.
Are you saying
Yeah,
that
you're
to
faster than us.
Senior Supersonic,
Yeah.
Roxy? Okay.
Yeah,
Be
Schnell.
friendly.
He's
Typical
just like,
Roxy.
I could probably stick around for a bit, but till then, and he will like kneel down and like have you help him get this guy on his back.
Yep.
Yeah.
And-
She
We will.
Lifts him up
Soon as
and he says, "See you soon," and takes off.
zips off. All right. I feel like we should do some PR work.
Echo, you want me to go?
Or
try and
do we
talk
wanna
to
just get
some of
outta
the
here?
people we saved to try and get a story going around?
Yes.
Do you want
Um,
me talking with augmentation?
I think we should tell them that it was another experiment that was
Oh yeah, pin it on
that
the
got
lab.
of Rook Labs.
That could backfire on us quick.
How about I go with Sylvie and we deal with the press?
Okay.
You go check on this person since
Sure.
you are an incredibly sympathetic person and I need your empathy in this situation.
Okay.
Please
problem.
please do not let him go until you've talked to me.
I'm not gonna let him go anywhere because he's still really angry.
Thank you. I just want to clarify.
He
that-
needs to cool off. We need to go to the gym, lift some weights, eat a steak.
Yeah,
We got a whole thing that we gotta do before he can feel better.
Maybe don't do that until I
No.
get there because we don't.
They
I'd like to talk to him first.
Yeah, no, that's fine. But I'm just saying there's a process to calm him down. And it takes longer than a few minutes. It takes like a whole day, actually.
Elena, she's Easy Living and Watchdog. Would you be willing to go keep an eye on this person?
I was gonna ask if you didn't assign me to.
yeah.
All right, thank you.
All right.
How
She'll
is the bike? Can you drive that, or do you want to fly again?
We could fly and bike it.
Yeah. Do you want to fly the watchdog? She's like involuntarily flown him, but I don't think he's ever willingly flown.
Sure.
We're asking for
Yes.
consent this time.
Last time we just yeeted him.
I'm sorry, did I hear you right? That guy's name was Senior what?
Supersonic.
Herr Schnell.
Don't pick on the kid for his name.
It's just so much easier if you name yourself after a song.
Watchdog.
Yeah.
You gotta be nice. If you're not gonna be nice, you're gonna be quiet. Do you understand me?
Yeah, sure.
All right. But you guys can get on the bike. I think that Roxy wants to do her somersaults on the way there. You guys can sit on the bike if you want. And
You
fly
make yourself
bike.
take a powerful blow again. I'm gonna laugh.
That's why Roxy's not on the bike. She's just doing somersaults in the air.
All right. The three of you can head off towards the junkyard where Senior Supersonic took Stone Guy. Valkyrie and Echo, in the meantime, you hear the sirens getting closer, and probably as the flying trio crests over another building and gets out of sight, the repair trucks and ambulances pull around and start like unloading and taking note of the scene. And you can also see off in the direction where all of the crowds and civilians were running, there is a large crowd of them standing there. Some of them talking loudly, some of them arguing. But it's the current state of things. What are you going to do?
Echo's going to say to Valkyrie, maybe don't start with the augmentation.
Understood.
Unless, what's your read on this? Do you think it would be a good idea?
I think we should avoid it if possible. I
Okay.
don't know how long it sticks around, and if people put two and two together, it's not
It
going to
works
look
worse.
good for us. It's better in long exposure, short dose situations for persuasion.
Agreed. All right. We'll try to standard PR this one then.
But some of the individuals might be incredibly thankful to the heroes that did just save their lives.
This is true. It's probably going to come down to we need to register people because this is dangerous for our city, but this is gonna
Perhaps
go
we
bad
could
places.
try and spin it in this registry as making it more people feel more in danger for their livelihoods.
That's possible. I do wonder, though, if that might backfire potentially. I like the thought, though. There's no good answer here, I don't think, but I want to appeal to their humanity. I don't know if they'll have any.
Let's ensure a mob mentality doesn't get started right now. First, we can always appeal to humanity later on an individual basis.
Agreed.
Let's not turn it into an us versus them situation.
I would prefer to avoid that because that is
That
exactly
ends
where the registry is
very
going.
bad for us. So,
Yeah.
how do we explain our friend being absent?
Escaped. Our team went to go see if they could find him.
Escaped in the chaos while we were saving the public?
One sec. Echo's gonna try to do like a brief surface level thought scan of people in the area to see if anybody actually saw the speedy guy get the dude out of there. And is thinking about it. That's only surface level.
You do not notice any thoughts from the immediate personnel indicating they did. A few of them saw something moving very fast out of there, but were not able to discern what it was.
Okay. She'll relay that to Valkyrie to say, okay, I think we can pull this off. He escaped. We saved them, which we did, that's true. And no us versus them. We all live in Halcyon. It's up to all of us to protect the city. Some people are gonna break that social contract. Powers or not.
Yep. And
Okay.
stick around to assist emergency services as necessary.
Agreed. All right. Let's do this.
Shine up that hero badge.
Are you headed towards the crowd of people?
So
Because there are some emergency personnel who are inside the square, but they're largely assessing damages, checking to make sure there aren't any other civilians who are around.
I'd say the first thing to do would probably be to see if there's anything that can be assisted with in terms of, actually helping people.
Yeah. Sylvia will go into the crowd under the guise of healing and checking out injuries. Triage.
You can, some people are scraped up, have some cuts and everything. A few people, fell and got hurt in the mad dash out of there. And you can, a lot of them who witnessed what was going on don't object to being healed by you, having that extra little bit of aid. What is Echo doing?
While healing's actually going on, Echo's kind of so the people who are immediately hurt, who are being helped, Echo's probably seeing what sort of crowd control is going on / needs to be done.
This is largely people returning to the scene of everything that happened, kind of now that the immediate noise and everything has died down, trying to figure out what is going on. I will say, as you are looking around and listening, you do hear some heated voices on the opposite side of the crowd from you, and do see flashes of light that you would be able to tell are like flash bulbs from cameras going off. So
can she discern what the heated voices are talking about?
It seems to involve the events that just transpired, also referencing the recent announcement of a superpowered registry. And as you're focusing more in on it more, you hear a familiar voice.
No, motherfucker.
Not who you think it is. It is Henry's voice.
Oh, okay.
And she is very loudly proclaiming, this registry that Councilman Evans has proposed is a discrimination tactic against people with superpowers. We shouldn't allow anyone to have to forcibly list their names so that people can track them down and possibly harm them in their homes and workplaces.
Yeah, I think Echo's gonna approach at this point.
Okay, so just continue. Sure, maybe we have people who use their powers for evil, but there are plenty of individuals who don't have superpowers who are doing the same thing, maybe even worse. Just as you saw, there are also plenty of heroes who are intent on battling these villains who are trying to wreck the city. They have the good of the people at the heart of what they do. And you can get around as they're like, there's applause from other people who are standing around her, and other people are shouting their consent as these reporters are taking pictures of the crowd and like making notes of what's being said. A few of them are shouting questions to try and get a better idea of what happened, but you can get around front.
All right. Who are they shouting questions at?
Some of them to Henry, since she seems to be, with her outburst, is like, they're like, oh, you're the leader of this, I guess.
Oh my god.
You're the face of this, and are like shouting questions at her. Other people are just like shouting questions in general, trying to get information on what happened. Like, what did you see? Who was it? Do you remember anything from the accident? Were you in one of those buildings? Stuff like that.
All right. I think Echo's pretty predisposed to staying away from cameras, so she's not going to get as close as she could.
Okay.
Does she want Sylvie to get close?
She probably wouldn't say no, but it's also kind of like she's not sure. It sounds better if a person who's perceived as a normal human is talking in favor or against the registry rather than a person who has powers publicly.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think staying around in case like the crowd turns and she needs to protect Henry, or in case Henry gets overwhelmed by reporters or something.
Yeah, a lot of the immediate crowd surrounding Henry are all like are voicing support for what she's saying, and getting a closer look at a lot of them look to be college-age students.
Okay.
So pretty safe guess that they're all like-minded individuals. But the reporters get a little rowdy, but I think at this point, now that emergency personnel is here and they've gotten a hold of the current situation, are starting to move in and like break this up to, get people to leave, so there's not just a huge vulnerable crowd of people in one place.
Okay, that makes sense.
A few of the people around Henry have to be like, okay, come on, we gotta go. And she's just like, no, and one more thing.
I love this for her.
Yes. Sylvie will do her best to update like EMS or and with what injuries she's seen and if there are any concerning ones that she hasn't been able to fully heal.
If anyone's like trapped under rubble, Echo can help with moving it.
No one trapped under rubble. It seems the efforts of Jukebox Justice and Senior Supersonic were able to get all of the vulnerable civilians out of the way. Mostly it's just there might be a couple people with sprained ankles. Maybe one person has a broken leg just from the run out of there, but that's about as serious as it is. Nothing life-threatening. So you can help them get a tally of all that. And those with more serious injuries can get them loaded up to get to the hospital.
And so we can provide stopgap measures to make sure they get to the hospital, at least.
Okay. So the two of you are doing that. I think we probably have time for a brief scene back at the junkyard before we call it a night. So by the time the three of you arrive, Senior Supersonic is just, again, kind of like shifting from foot to foot. The person the stone guy is sitting on like a stack of tires, still with the cuffs on. But you can arrive and touch down. And Senior Supersonic is just like, hey.
Hey.
How were things?
They're dealing with the press and EMS and such.
Usual media circus.
Yeah. We need a lot of good press for supers right now. And then she looks pointedly at Rock Guy.
Pouts and looks away.
Yeah. She'll shake. It's nice to meet ya. I'm Calamity. This is Watchdog. This is Easy Living.
Hello.
Easy Living's one of my girlfriends.
Oh,
She
no.
just tells everybody.
I love it.
Yeah. I mean, Senior
Ah.
Supersonic.
Yeah, and you met Valkyrie, one of my other girlfriends, and
That's yep.
No other comment.
There's just it's just gonna happen.
He's just like, okay, yeah, sure.
Anyways, it's nice to meet you. Thank you so much for your help today. You did a great service. And I appreciate you helping us get a new friend out of there.
Yeah, not a problem really. I mean, pretty concerning stuff with the whole registry business. So
Yeah.
even if we're on opposite sides, gotta watch each other's backs a little bit, I guess.
Absolutely. Everybody's, I think, anxious and upset about the registry that is going to be impacted directly. So we can really empathize with feeling that frustration. She's kind of looking back and forth between him and the pouting rock guy.
Yeah, rock.
Yeah. Yeah, love to team up again. If I understand if you gotta go, I appreciate so much that you brought him here though.
I should probably head back, but no, super great working with all of you.
Hopefully we can team up again in the future,
Yeah.
or I don't know.
That'd be great.
Get a beer or something. Actually, that's part
Is
of
any
No,
of your legal
we
to
can't.
drink?
what?
Who's that?
Yeah. Okay.
Is it 18
So
still?
the
Oh, wait,
It's
it was
18,
different in the.
it was
Yeah, I
18
forgot
in
about
the
that.
50s because they didn't enact the 21-year-old the
That wasn't
age
until
of
the
drinking until
60s?
no, Jimmy Carter.
70s?
Jimmy Carter. So yeah, it would have been the 70s.
Okay, fair enough.
I would also
That's- yeah,
argue
'cause-
Sylvie's probably old enough.
Sylvie's definitely old enough, no matter what.
Sylvie
era.
could
Is
go in
not
and buy it
beholden
for
to
everyone.
human laws.
You're
mostly.
78 years old. What the fuck?
But Senior Supersonic is just like, yeah, no, that'd be pretty
All
cool.
right.
I mean, yeah, you guys are awesome, but if I guess
You want to
See you
meet
around.
at the bar and get a drink
No,
later?
no,
No, we're not.
not today.
Maybe tomorrow.
We got stuff to handle for now.
We have a lot of
Calamity.
things to handle.
I understand, but we also need to spend time with regular people in
It's
costume
act-
because
She actually has a point there.
we need to start relating to regular people and
Um,
forming relationships in the community. Sorry.
I actually have something tomorrow, but rain check.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can, you
Just-
know where to find us probably. Just knock a building over and we'll find you. Don't do that.
Yeah,
don't
I'm
do
not
that.
kind of I'm not
Don't
really
do
super
that.
strong, so I don't think that's really in my wheelhouse.
Just if you even have an opportunity, don't do that.
Well, I mean, we'll probably see you around.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff
Totally.
going on. We'll see you around.
Yeah.
All right. Nice to meet you.
So yeah,
Work on the name.
Cashnell
You're
is
one
great
to
Not
talk.
name.
nice.
and
Rude.
he takes off.
Too many S's in it.
Is-
Okay.
Cashnell. Und Herr
Yeah,
Rock.
Senior Supersonic runs off.
Yeah. And Roxy then looks pointedly at Rock Guy and goes, "What in the fuck? What were you thinking, man? We're all angry. I want to throw shit too, but that's not helpful when they're saying we're dangerous to then go ahead and prove them right. Literally hours after they have said that we're dangerous and need to be on a list. You are not helping anybody with superpowers
Yeah, that's
by doing that.
Oh my god, I
true.
know. That imagery of just Roxy turning around and being like, "What in the fuck?" and then we just end it there.
Yes, I want this.
That's the last page of the comic.
Yep.
What in the fuck were you thinking?
What the fuck?
Like standing, hands on her hips, glaring, and
Yeah.
the guy's like,
She's taking full on Mama DeMarco energy.
Yes.
Yes.
I love it.
All right. So we can head into our end of session question.
Yes.
I'll go first. I have an answer. Sylvie grew away from the team, specifically Watchdog, who just decided to attack someone when they were down after scolding her for doing very similar actions. Granted, they had more lasting repercussions, and he also was kind of being a dick at the end of that battle. And
Persona.
she doesn't care. It came off as a lot more snide and mean and ill-tempered than she was expecting. So
Joe loses influence over Sylvie.
yeah.
Ooh,
It's
the
almost
Sylvie.
like Joe is a hypocrite.
Yeah.
We've
I was
known
gonna
this.
say, I think Sylvie doesn't like hypocrisy.
Ironic, being a fae.
I don't know. Has Sylvie
Reformed
broken her
fae.
word to you?
She's a
I think-
reformed fae.
I think she stuck pretty well to her word to the team overall.
I
The
guess
She's
worst
not
thing she
judging you
did was
for going for
accidentally
Molly's
kill a guy.
down. She's judging you for judging her for doing the same.
that's fair. That's fair. Someday we will bridge this gap, but it will not be this day.
Not the day is not today.
Nope.
I guess I will go next here. And just a quick couple things before even my end of session. First of all, since we ended the scene at Town Square, was me sort of ripping into this guy enough for me to clear angry? Because one of the conditions to clear it is hurt someone.
Hurt somebody.
Hmm.
You physically hurt him.
I don't know how much Rocky can feel.
Hair rock.
If no, that's fine. I'm just wondering.
I'm on the fence because, I mean, yeah, technically you're hurting someone, but I almost feel like clearing conditions need to have more of an
More
emotional
impact?
impact
Yeah,
on
that's
you.
fine. Yeah, it's fine.
So.
break something important, literally all of the guys' bones.
Yeah, we'll see how this conversation goes at the junkyard.
to Watchdog.
I
I
mean, he's
that
not
guy.
like. I mean, he's a villain, so he doesn't.
Yeah.
Watchdog doesn't really give a shit about him.
Yeah.
But Watchdog almost broke his own moral code. That would
Yeah,
be something
that-
important, but
that's
you
Lindsay
didn't
even-
though.
a little
You
bit even to
didn't.
me,
You stopped at the
so-
last second. So
Yeah. Okay. I'm still angry then. That's fine.
does
Um,
yelling? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, we can. Technically speaking, when I did that defend someone in the building, I had taken influence over somebody, but it's probably not gonna be relevant, so we don't need to worry about that. So, end of session. Definitely growing into own image, and perhaps this is a poor reaction to his current circumstances, but I think Joe has finally gotten a chance to get back into the Watchdog persona. Gosh, is it such a stress reliever for him? Like, yes, I don't have to give a crap about how other people perceive me for like 30 minutes, and I can literally just go wild and nobody knows it's me. So we are gonna shift mundane down.
I mean, a few more people know it's you this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. But
Your mom might be a little concerned.
that's true.
She thinks
But-
you have rage issues, and now you do have to go to therapy.
And I'm thinking we'll move Freak up here. just because he's like, yeah, I am kind of odd, aren't I? Not really the normal sort. And maybe he's starting to think that's not such a bad thing. The normal sort stuff has just been causing nothing but pain for him lately.
Maybe he can resolve some of that next week, finally.
I'm trying!
Maybe.
I have been sitting on this scene for weeks now, and I'm just like...
And now I had someone else save your girl.
You go to
With the
try and
silliest
propose.
name.
You go to not propose to Henry, and she reveals that she's going on a date with a speedy guy.
Oh
You're
no.
supersonic.
That's not gonna be a happy puppy if that
Joe
happens.
has a new rival.
Joe's already not a happy puppy.
He's going to be a less happy.
But
puppy.
he's a
He goes
sad,
from a
not
sad,
happy puppy right now. It's
sad
gonna go from
puppy
a sad
to
to
a
a
mad.
mad.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a mad mutt.
He's
Like,
mad puppy.
that- Ooh, I'm saving that one. That's a good villain name.
Yep.
Mad Mutt.
You're welcome.
You should use that.
Maybe I will.
But yeah,
Um,
that's true.
I'm gonna go grow closer to Echo because of our little pep talk.
Yay.
I don't know. For RP purposes, it would make sense that clears my insecure, but I really want a potential.
How many advancements do you got?
3. This would be my 4th. It would clear the whole track.
I mean, there will be dice rolls later on.
Yeah. I think
got
there's gonna be conditions later on too. I don't know what I want to take for a advancement anyways yet. So I will clear insecure.
Oh, that reminds me, Charlie. I picked up my moment of truth.
And she already has influence over me, so that's time for the label shifting, which might just give me conditions back.
We'll see. I think what Cynthia was probably going to go for would be Savior Up, Freak Down.
Okay.
Because while Elena did display a lot of power by being able to hold buildings up,
And mush them.
because she'd been having some doubts about herself in recent episodes, Cynthia was impressed by her ability to power through and save the day regardless. So
Yeah.
she's proud of her girlfriend.
Go team.
We spent
Uh,
so much team today, guys. We did
spent
so good.
team.
You spent 2.
That's so
That's a
many
lot
for
That's a lot
us.
for us.
We had a net
Uh,
negative.
Just to keep it on the same topic, because Echo is going to also grow closer to team, specifically easy living, and for the same reason.
Yay.
Okay.
I do love the image of you two like back to back in the air, just like holding up the city.
I love it.
I'm going to increase superiority,
It is left.
and that's
Oh,
okay.
So no movement.
No movement, and decrease mundane.
I mean, no
Nothing
movement,
moves.
but
No
fair.
movement.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good to know what
Oh,
you
is
would
that
have
one also
shifted.
locked?
No, it's
no,
if one's locked,
locked,
stay,
nothing
stays.
moves.
Oh, nothing shifted. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Both labels need to be. able
But
to
similar
move.
similar reasons, because the pep talk was a very boss thing to do. She's very much the team leader and also girlfriend, but that's irrelevant to the team.
We leave that at the door.
Yeah,
The girlfriend.
some of
leader
us
is
leave
Roxy.
that
Oh.
act at the door.
Wow.
Hmm.
Totally forgot to do the questions going into battle against a dangerous foe.
Oh,
Oops.
We had
oops.
enough team. I didn't think it was
That's
relevant
okay.
to bring
It's
it up.
fine.
Anyway, I believe
I
Roxy.
don't think we would have gotten much anyway.
Yeah.
honestly.
So, I wanted to ask if talking to Rampage and enlisting her help without consulting the team counts as doing something reckless without consulting the team first.
Is it reckless if it's on
Um,
brand though?
So you're trying to clear insecure?
Yes.
I mean, just because you are qualified as reckless does not necessarily mean doing a reckless thing is not then reckless.
That's what I'm saying. Like, just because that's within her wheelhouse doesn't mean that it wasn't also
Yeah.
a reckless thing to tell Rampage that she can commit crimes.
I think
He
so.
gave you crime.
I think that would work because you're basically telling Rampage, "Hey, go fuck shit up.
Yes, basically.
Do whatever you want."
I also appreciate that Rampage said Tempest is a later problem.
Aw.
Yeah, Tempest already wasn't happy with the super situation, Halcyon. I imagine she
Just
is frothing
Rampage saying
now.
Tempest is a later problem when that happened months ago.
Yeah, I know.
That's true. We
I
actually
hope that
don't know the
Rampage kept-
Tempest.
It's been like
status.
5 or 6 months
and
since that
Tempest
happened.
is still pissed.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
That's,
Trouble
that's not
in
good sign.
paradise.
Granted, we as a team did fair among the shit out of her and then beat her up. So there's
She
also
doesn't
that.
like us a
Pluses and
ton.
cons.
I just got blasted with lightning.
We might just have to send Roxy in there to just like be so endearing that well, no, Tempest won't fall for that. She's like, I remember when you hit me in the face. Bitch.
didn't name her in
It'll be fine.
Bring
So
Grandpa
Rox
less.
grew closer to the team, but I would say that specifically she grew closer to Senior Supersonic. And she's going to give influence to Senior Supersonic because she thinks he's super cool. Also, super speed is such a cool superpower.
I love that
It
for you.
is.
Yeah. She's like, I like that guy. He's cool. Helped us out, getting people out of there without any
One of my-
personal gain.
Secrets.
You know?
I love secrets.
So
Secrets are
she's-
great.
She's giving Senior Supersonics
Charlie, you
influence over her.
didn't.
What?
Oh,
You're
you evil genius.
Hilarious.
I have no
I have
idea
a
what you're
question
talking
I need to ask next session,
I am-
apparently.
about. Oh, I was gonna say. I thought you were gonna say.
No
I have a
more
question I need
questions?
to ask
Ask you, and I was gonna be like, I'm not gonna answer it.
Yeah, I was gonna say Charlie will never tell you.
You have to answer in the context of the game.
If you roll high.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and then she is going to take potential and that's it. That's Roxy's she likes making new friends. I mean, she felt close to everybody, but like also she's a little proud of Watchdog for the she's happy for him that he finally got to like beat up the bad guy, which she knows helps his masculinity, his perceptions of his masculinity.
The real answer is that he literally has an alternate persona to just get his frustrations out.
It helps him feel like he's more useful than just saving people. So yeah, she's happy for him, but also he was being super rude to our new friend, which was super uncalled for because Roxy has no idea that Senior Supersonic helped. She was not there when
Didn't
Henry
see-
got saved, so
yeah.
she has no idea that
I think
happened.
Sylvie's probably put 2 and 2 together because she saw Henry disappear and then realized there's a speedster, but
I imagine
Did she think
Sylvie popping some blue popcorn into her mouth as she's like watching him off about it.
has she put 2 and 2 together? That might be why Watchdog's pissed off right now. No, she's just judging Watchdog for being a dick. So
Yeah, that's what Roxy is like. Why is
Watchdog's
he
just in
being
a
so
sour
rude?
mood today for whatever
Why is
reason.
he so moody right now? Is it a full moon?
It's almost like Joe has had an extremely stressful week and is like, finally, I get to just be an asshole for 30 minutes.
Every time he's saying that
yeah,
he's
but
stressed
we've
out,
all had a
Roxy,
stressful week.
Roxy thinks in her head, yeah, there's two of me, and I'm a fucking sleeper agent, and people have control of my brain when they say words to me. Let me tell ya. And I'm
All right.
still a fucking delight.
With that,
This is true.
I think that's all we got for tonight.
Yeah,
So I hope
This was fun.
all of you have a good week and are looking forward to where this story picks up next session, because I'm very excited to see how things progress. And maybe Joe will finally have a conversation with Henry. Regardless, Henry's face is going to be plastered all over the news. So
That's gonna be interesting.
That's gonna be
Oh.
great.
Well,
for her.
now Watchdog's gonna be like stalking her because he's afraid for her safety because she plastered a target on herself.
Are you kidding me?
Oh,
We're
no.
just gonna kidnap her and stick her in the base at this point.
oh my
God.
god.
Oh, her mom would love that.
Yeah, I was about to say
Henry.
that's how we get attacked by a superhero.
Well, not
Henry
like
would not
kidnap
love
her,
that.
kidnap her. We'll just be like, hey, you
We
wanna
would
hang
ask
out
her
here
if she
until
wants
this
to
goes
be
down?
in the base
Yeah,
so that she
like
can be safe.
a friendly kidnapping.
Well,
She can stay in the penthouse though. That way she doesn't have to run into Joe.
okay.
That's true.
That's an
The
option.
plants will protect her.
Until then,
Edit.
we'll see you
My
later.
Plant network.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.